All right, what's up? How y'all doing? Hello, good beautiful people. I was trying to find like an AI thing or something to start things off with, but I can't really find a good one. Achilles says, "About time you came on, damn it!" It's good to see you, Achilles. How you doing? How you doing? And we got Race Car over on Kick. It's good to see you too, Race Car. He says, "Penis." Well, to that I say, "Vagina." It's good to see you guys. All right, so I have a grand reveal for all of you right now. And I wish Oxycat was here to see it, but you know what? She's gonna catch it on the VOD. It's gonna be okay. So bum, 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 bum. There you go. My hair's red. So now, when you call me a gender, it's not inaccurate anymore. I don't know. It didn't turn out so bad. I could have gone like costume red with it, and then it'd be like super bright red where it's like glowing neon fucking red. But that would have been temporary. It would have washed out the next time I washed my hair. I was like, well, if she paid me $500, they should probably stick around when I wash my hair. So this is actual permanent hair color. It will be there for as long as this hair is on my head until I cut it off. Which I'm not going to lie, maybe sooner rather than later. But don't tell Kissy Cat that. Okay. Here we go. I'll show you what I had to actually degrade myself to in order to buy this crap at Walgreens. Okay. It was this stuff. I had to actually pick that up off the shelf and take it to the cash register. I felt so gay. But it is all Kissy Cat's fault. So I am indeed a ginger. Now, this one, well, okay, this one's in the daylight. Just you see it a little better. It's very fucking red. Okay, it is extremely red. I feel like Bozo the Clown, and I'm not dyeing my beard. I don't care. But maybe for another $500, I'll dye my beard. I'll tell you that would do it. There you go, though. Now I'm a ginger. The prophecy is fulfilled. Dye your beard purple. Oh my god, bleach your beard, says Steve Granger. Oh, son of a bitch. And Panchuchin calls me a crazy bastard. No, man, it's not crazy at all. I'm just fulfilling my end of the bargain. She asked how much to dye your hair, so I have dyed my hair. Of course, if you go to my Discord, you'll find people trying to egg me on to dye my freaking pubes. And then I'm like, well, how the hell am I supposed to prove that? And the answer was wax them and then show the pubes. Like, no, I'm not doing that. That was not part of the fucking deal. That was not part of the deal. Achilles says Cat will love it. Yeah, my ex is in my Discord. She likes it. So I showed the hair dye to my ma yesterday. She didn't get a chance to see it actually on my head, but she didn't seem too terribly upset about the prospect. So I must not look that freakish, but I feel weird. Race Car says, it's about time you stream at a reasonable hour. Yeah, I know. I've been trying to catch raids from Rob at fucking 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But. Is that Melvin the penis head? Race Car doesn't even know I got a fucking haircut. Yeah, I did. I had to cut all that shit off my head, man. It was getting too hot. It's too hot. 80-degree afternoons and having 10 pounds of hair on your fucking head is miserable. So, Chairman of the board says, you did it wrong, EOD. You should have asked Kissy Cat to spend the night and dye your hair for you. You got me there, brother. That would have been a much better deal. Benji just says, you did it for 500. Yes, that was the terms. It's in the VOD from, I don't know. I think Sunday or Saturday. That was Saturday, probably. I don't think I strom yesterday. I did not. Which Grumple will tell you is the correct past tense usage of the word strim. You strom. So. I did have some interesting content to look up. But before we do that, why don't we go in here and check on these asshats watching lower class and share the news with them. So, hold on a minute. I swears, man. Life is a trip sometimes. You know, if you had told me 5 years ago that one day on your shit ass stream that nobody fucking watches, somebody would pay you $500 to dye your hair red, I would have said, you are full of shit. Oh, I gotta give up my freaking camera. I always forget about that. And it hurts my eyes, the brightness. How anyone uses light mode, I do not understand. Kelly says the haircut does look good on you. Yeah, I like it too, man. It feels a lot better. Like, I walk in there with hair down to my fucking chin, and I tell the barber, like, I just want you to cut it all off. Just skin on the sides and leave a little bit on the top so I can do something with it. And she's like, are you sure? It's like, yes, it is too hot. I feel so much better. I really do. Anyway, all right, here we go.
Check this out.
Uh-oh.
You're not down here.
Got bikers and antifers.
Oh, he's for sure in.
Obviously down here with some bullshit.
I gotta wear these stupid things too because there's echo.
I mean, I gotta give it to him. He dodged a lot of punches, but
They busted his nose though. You know, it's so funny. You know what this reminds me of, dude? They're probably out there slinging drugs. And that's like, it reminds me of that story about the Rolling Stones hiring the Hells Angels.
Go
Remember,
back
like, someone got
Can I turn it down?
sorry I can't hear you with the video playing too.
Yeah.
I only got one earpiece.
My bad, bro. Yeah, so it just reminds me of that that video of or the when the Rolling Stones hired the oh shit, my bad. What's up, EOD? Sorry about that, bro.
What's up, man?
It reminds me of when the I mean, I wasn't alive for it or anything, but the Rolling Stones hired the Hells Angels to do security at one of their shows, and someone got killed. And those guys were probably just out there slinging drugs, dude. Like I highly doubt they were out there doing anything else. They don't support any causes, man. They were just trying to make some money, dude.
Yeah. And I know there was a mix of motorcycle. You could tell by the jacket. There was the Iron Coffins or whatever they're called. I know they got a club in Erie, Michigan.
The hair reveal. There it is.
Ta-da. It is red. It is very much red right now.
Yeah, it's actually red. Oh,
Yes.
shit, dude.
I told you that was fake news. What you said earlier.
What did I say? I said it was red, and you said that it was fake news.
No, not you, not you. I was talking to lower class, and he's like, I can confirm he has a soul. Then when I jumped on, I'm like, it is fake news. He looks like a ginger, acts like a ginger.
Well, I am now officially a ginger K2, so you can ginger wave me all damn day.
Hilarious.
I gotta put a shout out there for Oxycat. Thank you, Oxycat.
Indeed. Cheers, Oxycat.
Is Oxycat here?
No, she's the one. She's why I did this. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, I was like, oh shit.
She had
100%. That was. I hope that was $100 well spent because fucking
500.
Yeah, it was
500.
It was 5. Yeah, and so she asked me. She's like, "How much to dye your hair?" And I'm sitting there thinking, like, how much would she actually pay? I don't know. So I just said $500 off the top, man. She's like, "Okay, here you go." Boop. Like, I didn't actually expect her to go through with it, but
She said that was kind of low.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking after it. I was like, damn, I should have asked for 1,000. At least that's something to make her think about it.
Yeah, Corey, I did. Yeah, I did. He was they're calling the dude that pew pewed the other, who was the person who actually ended up in the hospital was just an innocent bystander. They were calling the guy who pew pewed that innocent bystander. Obviously, was not intended to hit that person, but regardless, they're calling him a peacekeeper in the news. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Like, just such a blatant disregard for the truth. That's absolutely wild, bro.
It certainly is.
There was this one YouTuber, he covered it. I don't know if it's true or not. The Black Conservative or whatever. I watch his stuff every once in a while.
PCP?
He says
yeah,
that
dude, PCP's good, man. He's funny as hell.
he said that CNN, Tommy News Network, might be up for sale soon.
Yeah, man. Well, that's
Allegedly.
fucking hilarious.
I gotta put allegedly. I don't want to get in trouble. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Which, good. Corey, I hope he is. But the issue, the thing that I was really bringing up was more or less the way the media has covered it, right? Yeah, like the guy who had the gun, they're calling him a, like, in quotes, peacekeeper. But it's like how can you even refer to him like that?
Hey, wait. Okay, hold on a second. I'll be right back.
All right, bro.
What is up, Oxycat? It's good to see you. Welcome in. Look, you see, I got my hair done. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be right back with these
You're
guys.
probably talking to chat right now.
I will come back to them because I want my camera back so I can give you a full camera view. Okay, here we go. There, see, you see, it is very red. I posted some pictures, some before and after pictures on Twitter. I didn't know what your tag was on Twitter though, so I didn't know how to tag you. She says it looks great. Well, I'm glad you approve. I wanted you to see the before I dyed it when I got my haircut because I really wanted to get my haircut anyway. It's too hot. It's too hot to have my hair the way it is. So I did this. This is what it is before, and then this is the dye that I used, and then this is the result. It is very red. It is very much more red than it was before. So I realized my lighting might still be screwing it up. But Icecast says I'm not on any social media. Well, then I didn't screw up by not being able to find you. But there you go. So I hope you are blonde. I never believed you, she said. Oh, well, that's part of why I did the before and after. But now you can call me a ginger. I'm officially a ginger, kissy cat. So there you go. It's all for you. Thank you again so much. That was freaking awesome. It made my whole month. So money well spent, she says. Well, salute. Speaking of that, I would like to go to the refrigerator very quickly. Will make things a lot more interesting. Well, I know you usually do the StreamYard thing. I would ask you to join me on Discord, but you say you don't have any. Hi, Miss Abaton. She's throwing all kinds of Picard face palms all over the place. That's why you see the Picard face palms coming at me from Kick. Oh my goodness. I know what she's trying to do. She's trying to get rid of race cars thing. There. I'll just do that. Okay. I'm glad that you approve, Kissy Cat. I really am. So salute to you. All cheers to Kissy Cat for sure. And while I'm freaking sorting my beverage situation out, I'll head back into the stream. Of course, I have to redo all the crap again. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta get set up with StreamYard. I really do. It's a whole lot easier than the whole stack of crap we're used to working with from Twitch. But okay.
All right. Welcome back, EOD.
All right, what's up?
What's up? So we're about to watch an update on the Utah Pew Pewer. Let me.
Utah.
And then
In Salt Lake City, anchoring.
Oh, Salt Lake, yeah.
We begin tonight with new details on the deadly shooting during the No Kings protest in Salt Lake City last night.
Throughout the day, we have been learning more about what happened and who was involved. News specialist Mike Hedrick is live in Salt Lake City, anchoring our coverage tonight.
Hey guys, I'm live along State Street right here. This is where it all played out 24 hours ago, little more than that. A growing memorial has been set up here along State Street. You can see people throughout the day have putting down flowers. They've made signs. They put candles out here, notes supporting and just showing love for the victim in this. We have a team of reporters who have been covering this, as mentioned, for the past 24 hours since this all played out. Daniela Rivera, she's following the suspect's past, the history, possible charges that he could be facing. Also, Shelby Lofton spoke with some of the friends of the victim. We're going to start things off, though, with Andrew Adams. Andrew Adams talked with police and has more now on the investigation.
Police say protest peacekeepers spotted the suspect go behind a wall, pull out a rifle, manipulate it, and then run toward the crowd. So investigators say one peacekeeper opened fire at the guy and hit him and an innocent bystander in the middle of a chaotic scene downtown.
In the middle of a No Kings protest that brought thousands of demonstrators downtown.
that makes sense.
Sudden gunfire stunned everyone.
He fired several shots. The crowd dispersed. I got to cover.
Witnesses too close to the action to want to show their faces described a confusing scene.
There were 3 men in green vests, and then next thing I know, one of them pulls out a handgun.
And now, a day later,
this incident unfolded very
Well,
quickly.
hang on a second. Put it on pause
City
real quick.
police are providing context.
Okay, so the 3 men in green vests means that they were part of the sponsored political action group that actually put the whole fucking protest on in the first place. These people were hired by the organizers of the protest as supposed fucking security people, man. That's the most fucked up part about this whole situation, if you ask me.
Wow.
Yeah. They're supposed to be, that's why they're calling them peacekeepers, is because they were hired by the organizers to supposedly keep the peace. And they end up fucking, shooting and
Shit
ending
falling
somebody.
apart. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's insane.
And the person they ended, okay, wasn't even the person that was actually the problem. They were shooting at somebody else.
Yeah. That's what I've heard. It was like a totally innocent bystander.
Yeah, it's a completely fucked up situation.
I think he should
To a
get charged
shooting that
too.
ended up
Me too, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like anybody involved, like, and that just goes to show you why and this is hot take, okay, but I think gun responsibility and safety should be taught in schools.
I do
Well,
too.
you're supposed to know what you're shooting at, what's behind it, and what's around it.
Correct.
100%. You don't just fire indiscriminately into a fucking crowd. But of course,
like, we have a Second
LARPers with a fucking handgun don't realize this shit,
Amendment. Correct, dude. Yeah.
I should put that back. That's the whole freaking problem in a nutshell right there.
Yeah.
you-
100%.
You had a bunch of amateurs trying to act like they were somehow, I don't know, liberation, revolutionaries, man. And all they're doing is causing problems.
I will call back in. I got to call dispatch. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, do your thing, man.
I'll be back.
All right, brother.
That truck he's driving keeps breaking down.
What'd you say, man? Sorry.
I said that truck he's driving keeps breaking down. Oh,
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that sucks.
I'm not sure if that's it or not.
It's like, oh yeah, it's pouring down rain here, so it's kind of hard for me to hear a little bit, but I'm doing my best, you know.
Not yet, Kissy Cat. My mom hasn't seen it, but she saw the hair dye that I was gonna use, and she was like, "Well, that'll probably work out okay, if you don't get it all over your face." And like, I did have that problem. It was like starting to bunch up right on my hairline. I was like, no. Oh shit.
All right, here I'm gonna play through this video real quick just to see if there's any other like tidbits of information that come out.
Sure.
Ended up killing a man.
Our preliminary investigation shows that our victim was not the intended target, but rather an innocent bystander participating in the demonstration.
According to
I'm glad you like it, Kissy Cat. I think Ms. Aberdawn likes it too. She says, "Mom and Dad need to see." Well, they will. If they're not watching this on Rumble already, they might be. But do I play PUBG? No, I do not. I used to play like some Doom and some Quake and shit. But...
Striking Gamboa and tragically striking the man who later died.
The chief says the peacekeeper who opened fire is cooperating with detectives.
Oh, Max Payne, I think.
Is under arrest.
I think you misunderstand. Achilles said PUBG is the shit. He didn't say it is shit.
What happened last night was sudden and alarming and not representative of our values here in Salt Lake City.
Police.
Wait. So they said that he pulled out a rifle, was about to do some shit with it, and the guy came at him and popped him?
Yeah, so apparently there was some, even the guy who instigated the response from the LARPers in the first place was a lefty. And he was going to go after some cops with a rifle. And so the LARPers saw him getting ready to go after the cops, and then they opened fire and like skimmed him, missed him, hit the wrong person, ended that person, and then like the mob, I don't know, somehow rushed this guy, got his bag away from him, got his weapon away from him, and then pointed him out to the cops. That's what's being said. And I saw the arrest happen, and it was like one guy was carrying a bag and pointed at somebody sitting over at, in the porch area, whatever building they were protesting at, said, "That's him right there, go get him." And then the cops were like, boom, right on top of that guy. And they did what they were supposed to do if that was the correct perpetrator. But I don't know if it was. Like, all that shit's still flying in the air. But
dude, that's just what an absolute failure, man. Like, that is so crazy.
Yeah. I want to say, if you're gonna hire security for an event like this, they need to be trained and certified security.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, you don't need to be doing that shit. That's a bad idea.
Yeah. Don't put guns in Redditmon's hands and tell them to keep the peace. That's fucking insane.
Right.
Dude. Like, that's absolutely wild, bro.
It is.
Police offering their condolences to the family of the victim after the shooting nobody saw coming.
It was going very well and peaceful. This came out of nowhere.
So you heard in the story that police say Gamboa's actions showed depraved indifference. Depraved indifference is a legal term and can be applied to a homicide charge. Police will be screening the case, and we'll see what charge is ultimately filed by them. Andrew Adams, KSL 5 News.
Andrew, thank you. As mentioned, Daniela Rivera,
it's all going to play out in court.
Team member, she's going to look more into the legal ramifications.
Okay. We get exactly what's going on with that. Yeah, man, this is just crazy, bro. Like, people need God, dude. I'm sorry. Like, yeah. I don't like to prescribe things for other people. That's just where kind of like my own personal principles come from and everything. But man, like, people need God.
You're not lying, bro. You are not lying.
I don't understand it. It's so crazy, bro.
It's just so easy for people to misstep and to walk away from the straight and narrow, If you're not even trying to follow in the first place, you can't even tell what's right and what's wrong. So
yeah.
One of my favorite quotes is from Thomas Merton. And it's kind of long, and I don't remember it verbatim, but essentially what it boils down to is even though I may not be fulfilling your will by merely attempting to, I can tell that I'm making you happy. I hope that I'm making you happy, essentially.
Yeah.
You know? And I see, your good deeds in my life, despite the fact that I am less than perfect. That kind of thing. It's like,
100%. Yeah. I mean, like, that's where my gratitude comes from, is the fact that I know, and people can argue whatever, but like, I know I'm not worthy. Right? Does that make sense?
yeah. Yeah. I think it's a very Christian thing to try to admit that and understand it. We're all sinners. Right?
Here, let me just a sec. Guys, by the way, this is EOD's channel. Please like if you haven't already. I'm sure most people in here already have.
And I'll say the same for everybody watching me. Go to lower class.
Hey, thanks, brother.
Definitely give him a sub if you haven't yet.
Yeah, we're all just cooling and kicking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I like this little circle that we've discovered here, and I want to keep fueling it. I feel like the more we synergistically feed off one another, the better it is for all of us. So.
Yeah, man. We make the tide, bro.
That's right.
The
red tide, the crimson tide, roll tide, motherfuckers.
Yeah, roll tide. Yeah, roll tide. Roll tide.
I live in Kentucky. Now I'm going to have to start rooting for fucking Arkansas.
There you go. Razorbacks.
No, fucking Alabama. I'm sorry. I was getting Arkansas and Alabama mixed up.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I'm from Florida. I'm from Tampa Bay, so I'm not even an Alabama fan. I say roll tide because it's a term of endearment around here. It's like oh dude, that's really cool. Roll tide,
Well, yeah, it's like I don't know, it's like America, fuck yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
What's more American than roll tide? And it don't even make no damn sense. Alabama ain't got hardly any coast at all, but
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Shit.
Trump causing mass panic in Iran. He lost his base with his Truth Social post. Interesting. I'm gonna look into that, Panchuchin.
Yeah. He's been doing a lot to lose his base lately. It's not just that. It's also saying, oh, wait, let's keep farmers and low-level workers and not deport those people, but we're going to deport the criminals. And it's like, well, wait a minute, man. We're either deporting people who are here illegally or not. And then the farming industry will have to recover by actually paying their people a regular wage. Is that really that much of a problem?
Yeah.
Especially how much they get subsidized. Come on. So, there's been some other stuff
dude,
too.
He is. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. It looks like he's kind of crashing out a little bit on Truth Social.
Well, have you got? He's still got.
We gave him, and not even just us, but like the left gave him W after W after W on a silver platter, and then he chose the L. He looked over at his waiter and said, L, please. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Maybe he's fulfilling his, his final arc into transitioning as a full-on Republican. So
yeah. The neocon arc.
Right. I was gonna say, bring that up. Yeah, Iran should have signed the deal I told them to sign. What a shame and waste of human life. Simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran.
Yeah, and then he says up here, somebody please explain to kooky Tucker Carlson that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And then America first means many great things, including the fact that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Make America great again.
Yeah, so he's part of that crash out. This is something I was going to cover. Apparently Crowder did an interview with Tucker that he released a couple of hours ago. But Tucker showed up on Steve Bannon's War Room and was talking shit about the neocon agenda that Donald Trump's apparently fueling right now. And, they're butting heads on what it means to be America first. So Tucker struck the first blow on that, is what I'll tell you. I don't know if Donald Trump is really crashing out insofar as he's just sort of responding how he normally does.
Yeah, that's fair. James, honestly, like that's something
fuck that guy.
I mean, it's something where I kind of like agree with you on, and I'm really scared of it, dude.
Well, what was it? One guy, Corey Barton, I believe. He's a cool guy. He's a cool cat. I like talking to Corey Barton, but he had the theory that that means that Trump is going to release B-2s to Israel or to send our B-2s over there. And I'm like, that's a whole nother level of escalation, brother, man. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Because in no way, shape, or form do I think our real heavy hitting artillery or our real heavy hitting, planes are going to get involved in this. If anything, all that's going to happen is we're going to let the dog off the chain, and Israel's going to go after them with the billions of dollars in assets that we have sold them over the course of their existence.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, how much do we give them a year? Like $60-some billion?
I'm not even talking about the money. I'm talking about the planes and
value. Yeah.
Yeah, primarily the planes. They have the most advanced air force in the Middle East, thanks to us.
Ashton's got a question for you, EOD.
Ashton says, I just want to ask EOD, did you see Dick crash out against me last night? I think he meant duck.
Yeah.
No, Ashton, I missed that, brother. I don't fucking doubt it, though. I don't fucking doubt it. What's up, Just Fight? We got Just Fight over here in my chat. She said, it doesn't really look any different than what it did before. And EOD was always a ginger. I was not always a ginger. I am now. So very much red, Just Fight.
Oh, Robert Whaley, you like Salty Cracker? Dude, that guy's channel, I can scroll
Salt
through his
Army
channel for hours. That guy is hilarious, and he's just the coolest dude on the planet, bro. Like, man, I like that guy has.
He's pretty funny, yeah. He gets a little out of the box sometimes, though.
No, Ashton, we're good. We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant. That's fine. Yeah, he's a wicked smart businessman. I mean, like he's made millions of dollars off of seasoning. In like today's age, it's pretty insane, dude.
I tell you, I like his short form videos better than I like his streams. I don't know what it is, but he's better in small doses for me.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, 100%. That makes sense.
Much love, y'all. Hell yeah, Salty Army,
absolutely, BBP.
For sure, man. Okay.
No shit, Robert. So you've been following him for a minute now. Yeah, Ashton, dude, you are always welcome. If I ever have a panel, you're always welcome in. For sure.
Well, it's not exactly a closed panel, is it?
No. But I mean, like, there's.
Come on in, Ashton. The water's fine, but.
Yeah. There's panels I go to where, like, just as a newbie, right? It can sometimes seem a little
overwhelming.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of people in there for sure.
Yeah.
The best advice you could give anybody is just try to be yourself. Don't try to be something you're not.
Right. 100%. Absolutely. Watched Sticks for a while, but he annoys the F out of me. Haven't watched him in years. Sticks? I don't think I've ever seen Sticks. Oh, hold on. There's chat drama. All right. So, wasn't it you just a little while ago saying you don't know, but now you do? Wait a minute. Hold on.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's better to just set those people to the side.
Yeah. Jess, what's going on, Jess? Thanks for stopping in. Oh, Sticks Hexenhammer. Yeah. He's good.
Nah, I don't know. He's okay. I think he's way overrated. I think the one thing that gave him the certain amount of clout that he's got right now. It's because he keeps getting mentioned by Tim Pool. But
Yeah. Who's the guy he works with? From the quartering.
Jeremy from the quarter.
Yeah.
Jeremy runs a pretty tight ship. He's pretty good. I like Jeremy.
Yeah.
I put him on the level with Salty Cracker. But 6X and Hammer's like, I don't know, a grade below. Maybe above, above me. But
Yeah. Jess, by the way, if you want to jump in and bullshit with us, we're just talking current events.
Yeah, I can.
Open, please. If you want to jump in and spit some knowledge at us, you're more than welcome to anytime. If you all haven't seen ABL's channel, I'd highly suggest it. He covers news articles over the week. Scott, it's called colloquialism, bud. Calm down. Oh, okay. That's chat drama. Yeah, Ashton, come on in, man. Whenever. I know you got the kiddo at home and stuff, and you're probably like, just. 1 second. Sorry, someone's here.
Well, Max Payne asks, what level is Andrew was? Andrew wasn't somewhere way above me. I think he's, at this point, he's getting up above Steven Crowder and some of the biggest names in the conservative movement. He's making some serious fucking waves, dude. Way above me. What's up, King Blackout? Good to see you, bro, man.
All right. Charlie. Jess was going to check out your stream last night but fell asleep. Robert, Jess's panels are like, they're typically very, very good. Like, I mean, I love them.
It depends on who's there. If it's like me there by myself talking to her, it gets really boring.
Right.
She was talking about how China was invading Australia economically the same way that they are us, and how they were eking their little fingers into everything and taking everything over. And I just completely derailed all that. I'm like, NASCAR is way better than V8 supercar. And she was like, bullshit, motherfucker. Look at this. And showed me all kinds of V8 supercar crashes and shit. It was funny. But I felt bad because it was like, I'm sure at least a significant portion of her audience was like, well, I'm interested in how China's fucking with Australia. And I was like, yeah, China fucks with everybody. We're going to have to bomb them sons of bitches eventually. Let's talk about cars.
Yeah. I really hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, I hope not.
I mean, we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah. You see, that's why I don't know. People say 4D chess. That was a meme, and Trump isn't really that strategic. But
yeah, I don't buy that.
I get the feeling there's something to letting Israel try to settle this shit, rather than having the U.S. get involved in another proxy war with fucking Russia.
Correct.
And Iran.
Bro, that's where I'm at, man. Just let them handle it.
Yeah.
They're gonna handle it the way they want to.
Well, the problem is it's all our humanitarian focused, mealy mouth politicians that are like, nah, we don't want Israel to do anything untoward. They have to follow our UCMJ and our rules of engagement, the Geneva Convention and all that. And none of the people they are fighting give a damn about any of that. But
yeah, correct. None of them do. Their government commits like human rights atrocities on their own.
Constantly. They use human shields. They use civilians as human fucking shields.
Yeah.
And then they want to sit there and cry about the humanitarian costs and the casualty rate. It's like, but that's because of how they're doing it.
Correct. Yeah.
When you put your headquarters underneath a hospital, how the fuck is your enemy? Is the good guy supposed to get you without screwing up the hospital?
Yeah, it's a whole mess, dude.
And I've seen some fucking libtard like James in your chat over there will probably say, well, that's just bullshit from the Zionists. It's complete propaganda. They don't operate out of hospitals. What kind of garbage is that? Yeah, well, I've seen video of armed guards escorting people as prisoners into a fucking hospital en masse, like 15, 20 of them at a time. Tell me what kind of sense does that make?
Yeah. No, I mean, I know there's a lot of complexities to the whole Gaza thing.
The tunnels. Ugh.
Yeah. There's a lot of complexity to the whole Gaza thing. I myself haven't really read too much into it. my big thing, you know, I tend to always lean towards the more isolationist stance, like not in an absolute sense, but more often than not, just I would much rather us stay away from conflicts such as these. I understand there's a lot of bad things that happen, and those things need to go punished, but I don't necessarily think that we should be funding those things to the degree that we have been, right? And that's just an opinion, you know. People can take whatever side of that they want. It's just I don't know,
No,
man. I don't like it.
you're absolutely fucking right. We ain't got no business in Ukraine. We ain't got no business nowhere in the Middle East. That's what Israel's supposed to be there for. That's why we are so friendly and buddy and give them all kinds of money and all kinds of military hardware and all this shit. It's so that they can take care of that, not so that we can get our shit involved and get our fucking, feet dirty in it. Hell no.
Right. Well, you know, the thing with Ukraine was the CIA was doing like intel operations out of Ukraine for 8 years before Putin actually invaded. And there's this kind of narrative that was put in the media where he just put his troops up on the border and rushed in out of nowhere. And that's not the case. Like, since the Maidan revolution, there were small skirmishes, there were assassinations, there was found like spy operations going on from Russia in Ukraine. There were a lot of internal conflicts based solely out of the relationship that like Western Ukraine had with Eastern Ukraine and Russia. There was just so much stuff going on. It wasn't like Russia just one day popped up and said, "Hey, we're going to rush up into Ukraine." And I'm not even trying to take a pro-Russian position here, but there was just a really weird media spin on it that like this popped up out of nowhere, and it was a gradual escalation for almost a decade until that happened.
Yeah.
People were getting killed and dying consistently the entire time. But like I operate under the assumption that the reason that we were funding Ukraine was solely so we could protect all the CIA assets we had over there, because this is not like a conspiracy theory. This is all completely true. The CIA for the first 6 years operated like in conjuncture with Ukraine, and then the last 2 years before Russia invaded, MI6 and the Netherlands also were working with them out of Ukraine to spy on Russia, Belarus, and China. So like we had been doing that for a long time before Putin put his troops up on the border
Before 2014, yeah.
before 2022.
Well, and before 2014. I mean, we have a long-standing kind of presence there since.
Yeah, see, I don't know about anything that happened before 2014, so it probably.
Well, you need to go back. You need to go back to the Berlin Wall and Gorbachev and the fall of the Soviet Union. There was we've been there since then, trying to secure Ukraine as our foothold, our stalwart against Russian expansion into the West. Ironically, but what it ended up being was the exact opposite. We have moved eastward and eastward and eastward ever since Gorbachev tore down the fucking wall.
Yeah, we crossed every red line. 100%.
For sure. Well, I got something from Corey Barton. He says, friendly wager. I say they send in B-52 on the USS Nimitz. I think he means a B-2. A B-52 is not going to launch off of a Nimitz. I'm not even sure a B-2, but a B-52 is way too big for it. You say they won't. Give me a shout out on your stream if I'm right, and I donate to yours if you're right. You're betting man. Here's what we'll say, Corey Barton, is I will say that I will bet you $1 that we do not launch any air assets off of any United States aircraft carrier to drop any bombs over Tehran. Now, we may launch a missile. We may do a missile strike. But I don't think we launch any air assets to drop any sort of bomb. I'll take that for $1. I'll take that for $1. How about that?
Agreed. I'm not 100% convinced that we're not going to, but I really hope we don't. I just with all the backsteps that Trump has done so far, which a lot of it is just talk. As of right now, it's all just talk. But it just depends on how much pushback he gets from us, man. Like we have to push back on these things. Otherwise, we're just going to let him do the next thing that Trump wants to do.
Yeah.
It worked. It worked for Syria. When he was getting ready to bomb Syria and get involved in Syria, the base pushed back and he backpedaled on it.
Yeah. Well, look, this is something we all understand about Trump. Is he's going to be bombastic and he's going to come out swinging, throwing bows and saying the most bombastic, outrageous fucking claims. And I think his aim, especially with the tariffs and all of the saber rattling that's going on. I mean, we forget he elephant walked the B-52s out of Guam when China got a little frisky last time around, which hasn't been done since like the Cold War. So, he will do the most bombastic thing, betting that his opponent's going to back off, and most of the time it works out in his favor. So we'll see.
But I mean, how many times do you play chicken before you actually crash into something?
It's bound to happen at some point.
Eventually, yeah. It's the law of averages.
That's true.
BBP, can I send a link that is in regards to it? Yes, please. You can put it in private chat, or if you want to jump in and post it to however, I can share the screen.
Well, I tell you what, man, I'm gonna get out of here. I just wanted to come in and share the grand reveal of my luscious red locks.
Hey, bro. Hey, it looks great.
Oh yeah.
If you were actually a ginger, you'd be a sexy ginger, my friend.
Well, I'll take that any day. That's good for me. Like I said, I could have looked like a clown, but it would have washed out the next day. I was like, that's not fair to Kissy Cat, so I better do it for real.
Yeah, no, good job, bro.
I'm glad I did.
Looks great.
All right, man. Well, cheers. I'll send it.
Pleasure talking to you, Yodi. Thanks, man.
Hell yeah, brother, man. It's good talking to you too. I'll see you around.
Peace.
All right, that's fun. Yeah, man. I am glad it worked out as good as it did. But I did want to take a look at some of this other stuff that I got going on. So, okay, so as I've been coming up and okay, before I move on, I do want to say this. Again, if you have not followed Lower Class, if you have not given him a sub, you're unfamiliar with him, definitely check him out and take a look. But Max Payne says they're going to throw sandballs at us. They're going to throw a lot more in sandballs if things get a little too hairy. But man, as I've been getting into this, I've come across several people who have had major influence over getting a hold of news the fastest and the breaking shit. And some of these people have fallen out of like favor with a lot of folks, but I think they still do halfway decent work. I don't know. Say what you will. Okay, say what you will. Benny Johnson is kind of an asshat, but he is good at aggregating information. So, oh, what's this, Miss April? All right, let's take a look. I've been informed that the president will have dinner with the heads of state of the G7 nations and then immediately depart for Washington. He has requested the National Security Council be prepared in the Situation Room. Yikes. Even still, I know y'all are going to call me crazy, but I'm not seeing that this indicates, like a declaration of war or that we're going to be doing anything fucking crazy. Generally, when Israel gets frisky with Iran, we want a strike group nearby. That's probably what that's about. Let's make sure whatever fleet is dealing with the Red Sea right now is on alert and ready to respond if necessary to support Israeli air. Just going to be doing the heavy lifting. I can guarantee you, okay? Because there's no, if we start dropping bombs in Tehran, okay, there's no way Russia doesn't come after us. That's what I'm telling you. I don't see that going any other way. Because as buddy as we are with Israel, guess who's buddy with Russia? It's Iran. And the last thing we need is another fucking proxy war with our greatest nuclear rival. There's no way that Trump sees that as a viable pathway. Especially after all the rhetoric and, oh, I'll end that Ukraine-Russia war from day one. Trust me. And that didn't turn out so well, did it? Abe says we track all their air traffic and most is publicly viewable, but covering it up would be easy for the United States. That's fair. We probably have more effective stealth assets than any other nation in the world. I'm sorry. That fire coating way too much. Yeah, I always do that. You know, it makes it even harder when I'm trying to organize a bunch of content and then talking to somebody and then sorry, you guys. I still love you, Kick. I do. 7th Fleet, says Wobbly. Right. That would be who's guarding the Red Sea. The 7th Fleet. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not sure which fleet does what. Or where they go or what their primary areas of responsibility are. I feel like that shit's pretty variable, though. But coding way too much says fire is no more. I simply code and eat way. Kizzy Cat says L Kick. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kick. I do. I love you guys. But, all right. Link to lower class. I can't find his channel on YouTube, says Jixer. Oh, yeah, I got you. I mean, if you really want it. I never see Jixer on freaking YouTube. Puppet Master says, your mom announced World War III. No, it was Trump. You know, presumably that's what some people are getting out of this. Iran should have signed the deal I told him to sign. What a shame. Waste of human life. We already read this a minute ago, but it's quite adamant that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. As so many presidents have been in the past. But, you know, something springs to my mind that maybe this is, I don't know if I want to say that or not, but maybe it's like an ego thing, like a small man issue. Because if Trump goes down as the one president in history where Iran did get a nuclear weapon, that would reflect negatively, right? the end of the day, are they going to do anything with it? I don't know. Probably not. Truth be told, if Israel cried enough, I'm not sure that there's anything really stopping us from nuking somebody on their behalf, but Achilles says Trump gave them 3 months to get their shit together, and what did they do? Spent most of their time bringing in more resources for more centrifuges. Yeah, that's not good. It's not good. Not good at all. I'll tell you that.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. This season of Trump's White House is like watching your favorite TV show kill off the best characters. Please, no, Elon, don't do it. Now Tucker, no, I can't take it anymore. It's like Game of Thrones. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tucker and Trump, the best of allies. The two clearly love each other. Donald Trump was with Tucker at his side when he won the election. Tucker Carlson went on the campaign trail, first time ever for the president of the United States. And of course, the two have been strong allies for years. But Tucker Carlson has taken a blowtorch to the neocons, warmongers, and war pigs inside of the Trump administration, saying, do not go to war with Iran. It will be the end of the Trump presidency. The real divide isn't between people who support Israel and Iran. The real divide is between those who are casually encouraging violence and those who seek to prevent it, between the warmongers and peacemakers. Who are the warmongers? They would include anybody who's calling for Donald Trump to demand airstrikes and direct U.S. military involvement with Iran. On that list is Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Rupert Murdoch, Ike Perlmutter, Miriam Adelson. At some point, they will all have to answer for this, but you should know their names now.
I think that's an important thing to try to remember, too. This has been true since the first Trump administration. It was a lot more evident during Trump's first administration that there were, two forces pitted against one another, two wills fighting for, actuality is what I'll call it. Okay. It's a very difficult thing to try to describe how information flows through the Oval Office, but it goes through a lot of filters before it gets there, and it comes through a lot of filters when it goes out of there. So there's a lot of places for things to be intercepted and usurped, and that was happening a lot in Trump's first administration. And I had high hopes that it was not happening this time around, but Pam Bondi was supposed to give us the Epstein files. That didn't happen. Kash Patel supposed to release the 9/11 shit and shut down the FBI. That didn't happen. So Bandit, what's up? He says, hey, should I go to the bunker now? You know what, Bandit, I'd start headed that way. And Wobbly says Benny's a tabloid streamer. I know. Okay, I know, but look at all of the stuff that he took the time to look up and highlight for me. So, okay, so The Atlantic has this quote from Trump. It says, considering that I'm the one that developed America First, and considering that the term wasn't used until I came along, I think I'm the one that decides that. For those people who say they want peace, you can't have peace if Iran has a nuclear weapon. So for all those wonderful people who don't want to do anything about Iran having a nuclear weapon, that's not peace, right? This from Mark Levin. He goes over an article from the Daily Mail about Mark Levin going in and advising strongly against allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons, and explaining how fucking terrible that would be. Obviously, Tucker Carlson does not share this sentiment. And so, also, neither does Rupert Murdoch, which that came as a bit of a surprise to me. But anyway, Tucker Carlson goes on to the war room and has some select words with Steve Bannon. So that's really what I wanted to get to.
For decades, Steve Bannon and his war room. And Tucker Carlson, for the first time ever, hopped on the war room with Steve Bannon.
And is this not fucking a revealing photograph? I did not realize it was like his fucking living room. He's probably, he's the type of guy who would probably admit that, and I just missed it or something, but.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Kind person. And I am saying this because I'm.
Goes to.
And I'm Trump. I think he's a deeply humane, kind person. And I am saying this because I'm really afraid that my country's going to be further weakened by this. I think we're going to see the end of American empire, obviously. Other nations would like to see that, and this is a perfect way to scuttle the USS America on the shoals of Iran. But it's also going to end, I believe, Trump's presidency and effectively end it. And so that's why I'm saying this.
What do you mean by that? That's coming from you. That's
look, I knew Bush. I knew George W. Bush. We had, family connections to Bush. I knew Bush. Personally, I still see Bush sometimes. And, of course, he hates me, and he does because I criticized him on Iraq. And that war is the sum total, from a historical perspective, of his administration. But I knew him, and he had all kinds of plans for the things that he wanted to do. But once domestically, right, to improve the country. Right. And you may agree or disagree, but in his mind, he wasn't just about the invasion of Iraq in March of 2000.
Oh, no. He was going to redo Social Security.
100%,
He had all types of. He was going to take care of the entitlements issue.
And he really thought it was going to work.
Yep.
And you could laugh at that or whatever, but the point is, the second you get enmeshed in a real war, not a fake, let's go bomb the villagers and declare success, though we don't even have a good track record. Why are the Houthis still there?
No,
there's a whole other question,
right,
which is how prepared is the U.S. military for a real conflict? And the answer is totally unprepared. Scary unprepared. I don't think people understand that. But anyway, the only reason I'm saying any of this is...
I'm going to let him finish, but...
is because I really, really care.
Tucker Carlson.
Okay, no, see, look, man. Military is more ready than you fucking know, okay? When the fucking rubber has to meet the fucking road, there's nobody more effective than the United States military. Y'all kiss my ass on that. But are we trying at wartime? Yeah. Well, not in a long time. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. Is having an endless war a great thing? I have no idea.
Explaining that he's not making any friends, he's not making any money, he's doing the opposite by barking against war and doing everything he possibly can to put his shoulder to the administration with his significant power. I got to tell you, if you have watched this channel, I align really harmoniously with Tucker Carlson's worldview. But I appreciate, as Tucker Carlson is regularly the one doing the interviewing, I appreciate the opportunity for Tucker to be able to explain himself and his worldview here. So he starts with Steve Bannon saying, wait a second, you got to understand, these people are here to sabotage Trump. These calls for war are coming from within the Trump administration. And they don't have Trump's best interest in mind. They don't have America's best interest in mind. Listen.
Into this, and the incentives to pull the U.S. in are so profound. I guess if I could just say one political thing, the watching Donald Trump, who of course you know very well, who I think at core is sincere about peace. I mean,
big time.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. I mean, that's real. Watching him done so wrong, the lies. Oh, he knew all along. You know, the peace process was fake. Steve Witkoff was playing along. That is a lie. That's a lie. I know. That's a lie. Those guys meant it.
Bald-faced lie.
It's a total lie. And all these people that Mark Levin and all of the minions who are running cover for a foreign government, they're all telling that same lie. And I feel for President Trump, and I don't know this, I'm just guessing, but at this point, I feel like he just has to kind of roll with it. You know, what do you say? You don't want to get in an argument about that right in the middle of a war.
No, I think he reiterated last night that we got to get back to the peace part. They got to lay down the guns.
But they're lying about him. He sincerely, even now, he sincerely believes, whether he's right or not, I can't say, but that this could be a predicate to a peace deal, what we're seeing now. He really thinks that and wants that, and the other side is just like, no, a peace deal is immoral.
It's the other side, but the other side also has the apparatus here. This is what happened in Ukraine,
the U.S.
when Ukraine attacked. When Ukraine attacked, we still haven't asked Ratcliffe, was the CIA involved? That there's zero probability Ukraine could attack that deep into Russia without some involvement. Here, the exact same thing. Why was Tulsi Gabbard not invited to the Camp David meeting all day?
You know why?
Why Tulsi Gabbard still to the American public?
Director of National Intelligence. She should have fucking been there.
Has said the last public statement is that the program was not back up and running, and now we have from Bibi by himself on Fox by Brent Baer that the thing was 12 to 13 months away. It wasn't this weekend.
I know.
And this is by his own thing. And we also know that it was a decapitation, as we said on Friday. It wasn't just about the nuclear program. It's a decapitation of total leadership. So this is a total regime change, which, by the way, you may have a plan for regime change, is fine, but you got to bring the American people along. Let me go back.
By the way, I said that publicly last
I don't know why it froze.
week. The point of this is regime change. I know everyone involved. I know I'm telling the truth. I have no weird motive here at all. I don't hate Israel.
Of course, it's regime change. That's exactly what we did in Ukraine to get fucking Zelensky elected. It's exactly what we've done time and time again with these tiny little third world countries, and nobody ever hears about it. It's exactly what we're gonna do in Iran if we get the fucking chance. I 100% agree with that. Now, why is it our place to fucking do that? But April says, booms. I like booms. You're thinking, yep, April just needs to stay on kick. That's not true. Plenty of people over on YouTube that really like the booms too. But, you know, those who've experienced war and know people, you know, personally who've experienced war. In April, I know that some people in your family have done this too, but it's not the coolest thing, man. It's the worst possible thing. So, and it will cost trillions of dollars and thousands of American lives, and will probably result in World War III, especially the way everything's going right now. It's a very ill-advised plan, but Jixer says maybe we need to see Iran blow glass pipes. Yeah, maybe we do.
You know the players, and you
I
went
know
and
the
you,
players
and you were,
personally.
and you
I
know
don't know.
the Iraq
I think it's a bad
situation.
idea.
This isn't a regime change effort, and why not just say that? But oh, you're a Holocaust denier for saying that. Well, stop. Let's have a rational conversation about what our aims are here, and maybe you can convince me that we need to support a regime change war in Iran. Tell me how that plays out.
Yeah, we already know how that plays out. We did it in Iraq. That was the other one that I was thinking of. It was on the tip of my tongue, and I couldn't put it in place, but we tried to do it in Iraq. It didn't work. We tried to do it in Afghanistan. It didn't work. Fucking, where is Afghanistan at now? After all of our blood and treasure that we wasted there for 2.5 decades. Back in the hands of the Taliban, right where they started. And somehow they've come out the victor with a bunch of our armor and a bunch of our hardware. And now they've secured their position even more holistically.
Country of 90 million people. Have you thought it through? Do you even care? And the answer is no. We have a economic and political and demographic crisis in Europe because of U.S.-backed, Israel-backed
Syria
wars in the Middle East.
Yep.
That's what's destroyed Europe, where my ancestors came from. And I spend a lot of time there, and I love European culture, which is Christian culture. And it's destroyed that. And shut up, you're not allowed to care. Who's making the rules here? I don't hate anyone. I don't see conflict with anyone at all. I have no weird biases. All my biases are out in the open. But I really resent being told who my enemy, especially with foreigners. Some foreigner shows up and tells you who your enemies are. Really? I've been here a long time. I live across from my parents' graves. You can't tell me who America's enemies are. Or at least I have a right to weigh in on that also. Oh, shut up, says Mark Dubowitz or something. It's like, are you even from here? What do you even, who?
Bandit says, we did it in Iran before. Anyone remember the Shah? Yeah. The Iran-Contra incident, too. That was an abysmal fucking failure. And it absolutely, it absolutely embarrassed the United States military and everybody involved, including the government and all of us. Yes, Vibe. I did. I got a haircut. What do you think? Does it look good? I also dyed it. It's actually red now. So y'all can call me a ginger, and I can't even bitch anymore. It's true. So.
Are you anyway? This is so bonkers. I don't hate Mark Dubowitz. I don't hate his agenda. What I hate, I disagree with his agenda. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at any of these people fundamentally. But what I seek is an honest, open, transparent conversation about what we're doing and why. And I don't think that's too much to ask for, considering it's my tax dollars and my money that you're seeking to use to achieve it. If that's radical, then, we've distorted the terms beyond recognition.
So then Tucker Carlson goes in and directly names who is sabotaging from within the administration, going in hard against Mark Levin.
You've already said this, Benny.
Absolute scorched
Mark Levin and Rupert Murdoch and yada, yada, yada.
It's exact. You can play side by side Iraq in 2003.
Oh, I was there.
And here, and what's happening today? Why is it why is this apparatus?
Well,
that's what I was just fucking saying. Oh, my bad. He's about to say it.
Here, and what's happening today? Why is it why is this apparatus?
Well, Levin's the funniest because he's terrible on TV. And again, I never had any problems with him at Fox. He kind of controls Hannity in this weird way. I never understood what that was about. I never really cared to learn. Sean was great to me, always nice, and so was Levin. So I just kind of stayed away. But they didn't want to put him on TV because he's like screechy and he's just not a calming presence. Mark Levin on TV! Like, unless you're literally floating in and out of consciousness and the attendant has taken the remote to go have a cigarette, you're going to flip the channel when Mark Levin gets on TV. It's like listening to your ex-wife scream about alimony payments. It's like not appealing. So they wouldn't put him on TV. And then, Sean pushed and they gave him some kind of weekend show that nobody watched. Now I don't have a TV, but someone was just who owns a TV was just telling me that he's like all over prime time. So what is that? That's not by popular acclaim. That's not like their viewer surveys. Like, we need a lot more Mark Levin. Less Jesse Waters, more Mark Levin. Mark Levin! What they're doing is what they always do, which is just turning up the propaganda hose to full blast and just trying to, knock elderly Fox viewers off their feet and make them submit.
This is where the population, the voters, are ahead of the political class and the media. The American people do not want any more engagement in a foreign war. They saw Iraq, they saw Afghanistan. We're just out.
I think because they're racist. I think, is that what you're saying? They're just bigots.
So why is Fox continue to pound that?
Because they really, really mean it. And you saw they really mean it. I mean, there is a kind of sincerity there that I respect. I don't know why they fired me, but I think no one ever told me. And I just want to say for the 5th time, they could not have been nicer when they fired me. And they couldn't have been, more friendly. I talked to them recently, to the owners recently, because I still like them, even though we disagree. So I'm not whining about them as people, but I think they canned me from Fox or shut down my show because I criticized Zelensky, and Zelensky's close to the owners of the company. It's like, well, how did that happen? Why is Zelensky... I don't know. I don't understand. There's a lot I don't understand. All I know is that it's not just Fox News. It's the American media generally. It's government institutions. It's this city. It's the people I used to live next to on Chambridge Road Northwest in D.C. They are deadly serious on the subject of projection of force abroad. That is the one. They have no sense of humor about it at all. They'll lecture you all day about the gays and the black people and, in this house we believe in science. They don't give a shit about science or black people or gays or transgender. What they care about is the projection of force.
Exactly why everybody was so fucking upset about, or all the Democrats were so upset about USAID being shut the fuck down. It's because they wanted that quote unquote soft power. You remember that justification they came in with later was like, oh no, man, y'all are ending American soft power. That's really what the problem is. It's not really about projecting our Marxist, cultural revolution across the world. It's about quote unquote soft power. Yeah, well, whose? But what is it? Ms. Abraham says it's a little late for diplomacy when Israel started dropping the hammers, and from the numbers, Israel's removing Iran's ability to do anything about it. It's very true. That's why I just keep saying, just let them motherfuckers go ahead. You just let that dog right off the dishes. Click. You can go get them. Have fun. I'll come check on you in 6 months or so. Like that'd be my fucking attitude about it. But like I say, whenever shit's getting hot out there, we usually send in a carrier group just to sit, in the Red Sea and say, go ahead and try something. Right.
Against their enemies.
Or the Mediterranean Sea, whichever.
On the other side of the globe. That's why the Pentagon has $1 trillion budget when the country is protected by the Atlantic and the Pacific.
Right. And President Trump's strategy.
Okay, I'm going to be doing this all night, I can tell. But here, Silver Ogre, I got this for you. Okay. Does it look red now? It's very red. It's extremely fucking red. Okay. And I still have this up over here. So, there it is in the sunlight. It's red. It's as red as it could possibly be. What's that? Kissy Cat saw it. She said it was good. So that's what it used to look like. And that's what it looks like now. So it is very red. Very much red. I don't hear anybody give me shit saying I didn't fulfill my end of the bargain. I definitely did. And Kissy Cat seems satisfied. So
Strategies a hemispheric.
Steve Bannon asks, how can we stop this?
Oh my goodness. Will you shut up?
From destroying principled America First stances. And Tucker says, well, it's obviously the CIA. You have to shut down the CIA.
All I know is that it's not just Fox News. It's the American media generally. It's government institutions. It's this city. It's the people I used to live next to on Chambridge Road Northwest in D.C. They are deadly serious on the subject of projection.
That's right, Smoking Spaceman.
That is the one. They have no sense of humor about it at all.
Silver says props for going through with it. Yeah, I've been saying I could have done something stupid. Like I could have got like some clown red makeup hair that was just like as bright red as it could possibly be. But then that would have washed out. It would have washed out the fucking day I put it in. Whenever I took a shower. But So Wobbly says you should never be in this. Shush. You shush, So Wobbly. You're just a mean old man.
About the gays and the black people and, in this house, we believe in science. They don't give a shit about science or black people or gays or transgender. What they care about is the projection of force against their enemies on the other side of the globe. That's why the Pentagon has $1 trillion budget when the country is protected by the Atlantic and the Pacific.
Right.
Like,
And
what is
President
that?
Trump's strategy is a hemispheric defense. What then are the steps that you're recommending if the program is we must take down the deep state, or at least make some effort at it? What would be your recommendation?
You got
to
to
the
get
president?
CIA under control.
And how would you do that?
By adding the number of political appointees. You know, I think CIA has, it's a federal agency whose budget we don't know, of course. And it's not just a federal
if the president,
agency.
and I say this in all seriousness, a special government employee where you still had your podcast, you still had the Tucker Carlson network, would you go assist the president like Elon did with Doge? Would you go assist him to say, hey, give me 120 days. I will give you advice.
CIA?
No, the whole thing. CIA, Pentagon, DIA, the DNI, all of it, the FBI, DOJ, just say, hey, look, here's the battle map. Here's what we have to do, or we're not going to have, we don't really have a constitutional republic.
I mean, I'm unable to organize a sock drawer, so I don't think that I have the temperament. I don't think I have the skills for that. I'm doing.
Do you have the insight to do that? If you had other people can organize
I grew
it?
up around it. Yeah, I know.
I
I know a lot about it.
I think this has to happen.
And
I'm being very serious.
I would be killed immediately, of course. I mean,
you think you would be subject to assassination?
I don't know. I think that would be perilous. I would do it. Look, I feel like what I'm doing now. I love Trump, and I mean that. I've never. Does Trump frustrate you? Oh, of course. I mean, you've certainly been through that. But my dogs frustrate me. My kids frustrate. I mean, you get frustrated when you deal with people you love. But my core feeling about Trump, and I think it's obvious in the way I talk about him. And I don't need any more money. I don't need anything from anybody. If I didn't like Trump, I'd just say so. I actually really love Trump. I think he's a deeply humane, kind person. And I am saying this because I'm really afraid that my country's going to be further weakened by this. I think we're going to see the end of American empire, obviously. Other nations would like to see that, and this is a perfect way to scuttle the USS America on the shoals of Iran. But it's also going to end, I believe, Trump's presidency and effectively end it. And
I don't know what he means by that. I'm going to be honest. Ending Trump's presidency. You think the Republicans are going to turn to impeach him? Think the neocons are really going to have a problem with this? Otherwise, Trump's presidency is already ended, right? I mean, it's the one term, and that's it. We're done. So I don't know what he means by that. But what was I going to say? Is this going to scuttle the USS America? I don't. Depends on how deeply involved we get and how deeply involved Russia gets. If you ask me, as a straight-on, head-on conflict between the United States and Russia could very well scuttle both countries, in my opinion. And not because of, the hardware and armor that the Russians have, but because it would inevitably devolve into nuclear war. That's what I am scared of. Thus the title. But at the same time, I don't think Trump is stupid enough to walk into this so brazenly as to just go ahead and pull the button. At worst, I think what's going on is we're coordinating efforts to support Israel to enforce Israel's hegemony on the Middle East to whatever degree that they can actually maintain that without Iran killing everybody. So I'm seeing, I don't know, a lot of mixed signals coming out on the chat. What I'll say is that no one having a nuke is a great pipe dream, but you can't ever fully enforce that 100%. I mean, there are bound to be nukes scattered about the world that we are not imminently aware of, right? So the idea that we would ever give up 100% of our nukes is laughable and terribly irresponsible, in my opinion. The question is, how many should we keep, and how many of those should be public? Because at this point it is a Pandora's box kind of situation. There's any putting that back in the box. It's not going back in. That's not going to happen. There's never going to be another world another point in human civilization where no one has any nukes. It's that ship sailed with, Oppenheimer and the Manhattan Project. But what we end up with is, this mutually assured destruction philosophy, and that's maintained the status quo for, my lifetime. So I have some confidence in that. But God's favorite Ann, it's good to see you. Welcome in. Benjamin Jackson, I did not see you yet. Fart poop for Benjamin Jackson. But it's good to see you all. Welcome in, welcome in. I want to finish this out a little bit, but there's a deeper interview that I'm a little bit more interested in seeing what happened in. But you're welcome, Benjamin Jackson.
And so that's why I'm saying this.
What do you mean by that? That's coming from you. That's
look, I knew Bush. I knew George W. Bush.
And Heavy Fisted. I'm sorry, I forgot to flip the screen. We got Heavy Fisted over on Kick. What's up? He says, Little Red Riding Dude. I reckon that's what I am now. Jixer says, DFL and CCP have a plan. It is ass in Trump. What the hell does that mean? Please don't send agents to my home. I have no plans to hurt anyone or myself. And Trump is looking at another problem other than the Middle East. It's right here, right now. I agree with that. We've got to have some confidence in our investment in Israel to actually follow through in our own interest. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of doing everything that we do for Israel, so that they can secure Western interests in the Middle East. And so let them do that. Let them go do that. They go do that. They take care of that. We'll sit on the sidelines and make sure nothing gets too terribly out of hand. And just, be the big stick on the side of the volleyball field or whatever. I don't want any part of that shit. That's just another endless war that's going to end up trash for us, trash for, global security. And it's got doom written all over it.
Family connections to Bush. I knew Bush. Personally, I still see Bush sometimes. And, of course, he hates me, and he does because I criticized him on Iraq. And that war is the sum total, from a historical perspective, of his administration. But I knew him, and he had all kinds of plans for the things that he wanted to do. But once domestically,
right.
To improve the country.
Right.
And you may agree or disagree, but in his mind, he wasn't just about the invasion of Iraq in March of 2000.
Oh, no. He was going to redo Social Security. He had all that. All
100%.
Types of. He was going to take care of the entitlements issue.
And he really thought it was going to work.
Yep.
And you could laugh at that or whatever, but the point is, the second you get enmeshed in a real war, not a fake, let's go bomb the villagers and declare success, though we don't even have a good track record. Why are the Houthis still there?
No,
there's a whole other question,
right.
which is how prepared is the U.S. military for a real conflict? And the answer is totally unprepared. Scary unprepared. I don't think people understand that. But anyway, the only reason I'm saying any of this is because I really, really care. And it's been, what a disaster for me personally. I mean, it's like the last thing I wake up, all these texts, well, I can't believe you're so evil, you hate this or that. I just want to restate, I don't hate anybody. And to the extent I do hate people, I try to repent of it. I don't want to hate anybody. I really don't. I just don't want my country to be further weakened or destroyed by another one of these wars. And boy, if you can't connect the dots after 25 years of this shit, you're either too dumb to participate in the conversation, or you're
right on smoking space, man. That's kind of what I've been doing all day.
And then I just love Tucker Carlson expanding and broadening his worldview here and explaining why he's in D.C.
You know what it is Benny Johnson saw Andrew Wilson say worldview one time, and now he's saying it all the time. I swear. That, I don't know why. Maybe it's me, but before I started watching Andrew Wilson, I did not hear that term come up nearly as often as I have after I started watching Andrew Wilson. That's pretty crazy.
And what this means to fight the fight for peace. He brings it all down and boils it down to the spiritual, which, of course, is what this is all about. It's evil versus good, light versus darkness. Here we go.
A lot of the people pushing for this stuff have really empty, tormented personal lives. That's true of many in Washington. And that this is a way to kind of feel powerful. I mean, nothing makes you feel more powerful than killing other people. That's the ultimate power. And we talk so much about money and sex, and those are drivers of human behavior, of course. Those are powerful impulses in people to accumulate more of both. But really the ultimate power, the Promethean power, the core power is the power to kill. And when you deny that to people, or you seek to deny that to people, or you raise the point that actually you can't kill people, and that when you do, you will suffer for that. As you said the other day, and I loved it, I meditated on it in that moment in Matthew. And it's not just in Matthew, it's in John, it's in a number of Gospels, where Jesus scolds Peter for raising the sword in his defense. They're hauling off Jesus to torture him to death for no reason. All he did was heal people. And his closest disciples seeks to defend him with violence, and Jesus scolds him and then gets hauled off to be tortured. By the way,
they could have made a break. They would have stood up and Jesus wouldn't have been seized and it would all gone on. But he told him right there, live by the sword, die by the sword.
And he scolds him. It's unbelievable. He's mad at Peter. It's just incredible. Anyway, whether or not you believe in Christianity, whether or not you're a Christian, it doesn't matter. It is true that people who espouse violence suffer in the end. They do. I have seen it a lot. And I grew up in a world that espoused violence. That's what the U.S. government does. My dad was involved in it. And I just believe that. And maybe you don't believe that. That's fine. That is my core belief. I sincerely think that. But why the hate towards someone who's just like, hey, I'm hard. If you think, and I said this to an Israeli official, if you think I'm anti-Israel, man, you have lost the plot, son. If you think I'm your enemy, not at all. I like Israel. Are you kidding? I've spent a lot of time there. I continue to like it. I pray that Jerusalem is not damaged. I feel so sad for the Israelis who've been killed in the last couple of days, and the Iranians who've been killed in the last couple of days, who had nothing to do with any of this. But the point is, if you think that saying, hey, let's focus on my country where I was born, where my family's been for hundreds of years, that was the promise of the last election, please do it. If you think that's hate, you know, you've really lost perspective, I guess is what I would say. But they do think.
That is strange. Yeah, I've got a live from Tel Aviv. April says Iran has launched more missiles. I've been keeping an eye on this for the past several hours, and it didn't seem like a whole lot was going on. But I have seen some crazy fucking clips come out of this. I'll tell you that. It has been getting insane. Wow. So these are apparently ballistic missiles shot from the cockpit of a... Yeah, it's the second stage, isn't it? These are ballistic missiles shot by Iran against Israel. Posted, well, yesterday, technically. But U.S. official confirms the United States is not launching offensive strikes on Iran on behalf of Israel. Our forces in the Middle East are maintaining their defensive posture, but we are not currently engaging in any offensive operations against Iran. Well, that's what I expected them to say. How much of this is true? I do not know. Is this what an intercept really looks like? Yeah, I guess so. Man, I don't even know if that's shit coming in from the outer atmosphere or if that's what it says it is. One of these two objects is a lot bigger than the other one. That's what confuses me about that. Right. So it's so hard to believe some of the shit that you're seeing when you doom scroll on this stuff. You know what I mean? That's probably going to give people a seizure. But like this, for instance. Don't know who the source is. Don't know how reliable it is. But it looks like something from you know, a movie or a video game or something. But that shit's insane. This is 22 hours ago. That's Tel Aviv. Right? But that was 22 hours ago. Now, despite all that hardware coming out of the sky, things seem relatively normal. I don't want to speak too soon, you know, or out of a point of ignorance or something, but that's as accurate of a live stream as I could muster tonight. And you want to do your due diligence about this, you know. I don't want to spread bullshit around to people and make them think that the whole world is actually ending, you know, like titling my stream that Trump declared World War III is on. I mean, I kind of do, but I guess I could specify today. That might be helpful. Well, there's one from, and I was trying to explain this to Rob Nor the other night. It's really helpful if you have somebody that can just sort
shit.
all of this out
What
for
the
you.
fuck?
Now, come on. That's why it's important to listen to the audio sometimes too, I reckon.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. What? Oh my god. Whoa.
Is this a translator or?
Whoa.
I don't even know. I did see Benjamin
shit.
I did see Benjamin Netanyahu visited a couple of strikes sites in Israel that got hit. Oh.
Look at this shit. Bro, this some next level shit right here. Look at this shit. Whoa. Look how many is coming down.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Like, this is when I wish I really had Grok, then I could just ask, you know, is that for real or is that complete fucking bullshit? Don't know. So one of the things that Iran has actually been accused of in the past and found to be true is using AI in computer video games to spread propaganda information. I guess that's primarily what I'm concerned about. These don't look like actual strikes to me, you know? That's far too fantastical. All right, well, this one claims to be from an official Iranian news agency. Which, again, talking about people who have been found guilty of using fucking AI-generated bullshit in the past. It's just so hard to sift the fucking bullshit from the reality on this. Man, why would you not work? Again, there's such a variance to the munitions that are coming down, and there's so many of them. It doesn't make sense. But there's the Iron Dome, you know. You gotta try to get through that. So you're gonna try to do that with numbers. That part makes sense. But this does not look real to me. Call me fucking crazy. All right, let's pull this up. This is from Ms. April in the Discord. So it's like this one in the top right's the one I found before at Tel Aviv. So good. You know, and like if that many munitions were really coming down, like at least a couple of these big buildings would have some holes in it. You know what I mean? There's some very large targets right there that would probably not survive that barrage. Now, like I say, I did see where BB went down and visited one of the strike sites where something did get through, and it did cause a hell of a lot of damage, and it is causing casualties. Just unsettling. But you watch it live? You watch what live? You watch all them damn missiles come down live? You kidding me? I don't know about all that. Check Willie OAM. He's one of the few non-biased guys, says Panchuchin. Pictures and drone footage of damage, says April. I'll be damned. There's a report that Israel is destroying 18% of Iranian launchers, says Wobbly. Interesting. Just ask the AI, says Heavy. Yeah, that's probably what I should have done. Is that, I'm not paying for that shit. That is a demon. But, okay. It is, though. I'm telling y'all. All right, well, I did have a little something else I wanted to cover. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to keep this up. I'm going to stick it down in the bottom right of the screen or somewhere. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the Discord for a little bit. I can hang out for a little while longer, but I've only got about an hour. So, hour and a quarter or so. This is fucked though, man. Like, oh, okay. If I double click, you're supposed to exit the full screen. That actually does look real.
وصاروا بالغلاف الجوي مش بس هيك ليك البوستر طبعا.
And that's still a shit ton of fucking artillery flying through the air, man.
يطردون ولا كأنه لا عم يطلعوا. واو، لك بس يصير فوق الغلاف الجوي كيف بيختفي.
Yeah. Well, I guess they made that as easy as they possibly could have. My goodness. This expo captures a moment of heightened tension between Iran and Israel, showcasing cockpit footage of Iranian ballistic missiles launched towards Israel from 35,000 feet above Dubai. Documentation underscores the escalating context footage, part of a broader context where Iran has responded. The event is situated within a larger narrative. Okay. Well, it does not say that it's fake. That's something. Okay, that one I kind of believe too. That's more along the lines of what I've come to expect from this whole dealy bob. This shit has been going on forever, you guys. And Iran's still dealing with, Cold War era Russian technology and shit. And a couple of them hit. Oh, these might, well, okay, when I say artillery, what I mean is shit. Just shit that we launch downrange. It happens to be large. These are ICBMs. Whoa. You can see them separate into a second stage. Right? He zooms in on this one and boom, it lights into a second stage right there. So that's an ICBM. And he's 30,000 feet in the air. That's way beyond artillery, I think. Artillery is essentially just a big damn bullet. But when I say artillery, I'm usually not referring to literal artillery. These are missiles, and these look like intercontinental missiles. These are very large pieces of munition. Red alert. I'm aware of them. Let's take a look. Let's see what red alert is saying. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Well, we already looked at this, but Mark Carney says he understands Trump's need to leave the G7 summit. Civilians may now. Oh, well, you know what? I did have that pulled up a minute ago, and I lost it by now, I'm sure. So much crap, man. But Trump did give a short speech. I think the essence of it was he was kind of berating Europe for starting the Ukrainian-Russian war. But civilians may now exit, but he had to leave early to go do the Security Council thing to figure out how we're going to support Israel in this new heightened conflict. But Canadian civilians may now exit bomb shelters following Iran's ballistic missile attack, the Homefront Command says. That was 3 minutes ago. Nice. So these are all the areas of strikes. Wow. That's insane. That's the entire country of Israel. It's the whole thing. They just bombed the whole thing. Who dis? Oh, what's up, Heavy? It's good to see you, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're just fucking bombing everything out here.
Have you checked out the Institute for the Study of War?
The Institute for the Study of War, huh?
Yeah, they are doing updates on Iran and all. They're the same ones that's been covering any other, global conflict.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably where a lot of this information gets sourced from. What are they saying?
I just popped the link in.
And so Iran has reportedly maintained its uncompromising position regarding nuclear talks, meaning it's not yet ready to negotiate an end to the war with Israel. Other reports have indicated that Iran may grant concessions if it is allowed to fully retaliate. What the fuck does that mean? A lot of this is about Ukraine.
Yeah, they cover everything.
I'm sorry, I'm not sharing this in. It does tend to set my computer on fire when I do. Oh, yeah. Okay. Israeli strikes in Iran, the 12th through the 16th. That might be interesting to look at. But it's not aggregated. Each one of these frames is a different day. Yeah. It's like a lot of it's centering around Tehran. Which, of course it would. And some dummy in fucking lower classes chat was saying which trade routes go through Iran. I see a pretty important one right here. Between Kuwait and Caspian Sea and Turkmenistan and Turkey. So I was thinking, probably Turkey and whoever wants to be okay in, the Persian Gulf. Of course, a lot of those people are not okay, but.
And all those missiles are probably ballistic. Same thing, like what Russia's been tossing at Ukraine.
Yeah, sure. Like the fucking, for the Patriot system was designed to protect against, right? I think. It's an anti-ballistic missile system. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a few of them.
Yeah, they do. I'm sure Israel does too. But they got the whole fucking Iron Dome system. They have a hell of a military development, program in Israel. They just take.
Isn't Iran running off the Russian systems like the S-2, 3, and 400?
I don't know. As far as I know, yeah, they run on Cold War era Russian tech for the most part.
I think those are a little more modern, like the 400. Then again, they will layer a system and call it something new.
Right. Which is essentially what Israel does with our shit. They just put a fresh coat of paint on it and act like they did something cool. But I don't know. They make some modifications, but. So, Prime Minister Netanyahu confirmed on June 15th that an Israeli airstrike killed IRGC intelligence organization chief Brigadier General Mohammad Kazemi and his deputy Hassan Mohad. I don't know how to say that one. Mohajej, I guess. But these are the people that are in the supreme leader's close cabinet. That must explain why they are so very pissed right now. At least part of it. This is crazy, man. I don't know, what do you think? You believe in fucking videos of they have like 150 missiles coming down all at once over Tel Aviv?
Yeah.
That shit's nuts to me.
I mean, it's not the first time that kind of amounts have been flung at Israel.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. In previous iterations of this conflict, which has again been going on longer than I've been alive, it seemed like most of the munitions were pretty uniform. And a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing is all very differently sized and shaped. That's what gives me pause about it. And some of it looks like re-entry debris breaking up, you know, like. So I just feel like there's a lot of misleading imagery floating around. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we don't know if they're using a what is it called? Entry. It's where basically you're firing
A
a ballistic
MIRV,
missile.
yeah.
Yeah. And
No,
you get multiple heads.
we've seen a MIRV before. It flies as a single projectile for the primary distance, and then when it gets within striking distance, it splits.
Right.
Russia launched one against Ukraine one time, and it freaked everybody out. I remember seeing that. That was wicked, dude.
Well, it depends on what warheads they're carrying. If you're looking for more of a localized area versus more widespread, you're talking about where you could, you would have a lift body go up, and then basically up in stratosphere, start coming down, and then deploy depending on where they wanted to hit.
Yeah. That's an interesting.
So that might be why we're seeing these things look like they're coming apart. It's actually multiple warheads leaving, the vehicle.
That's I don't know. That's conceivable. The problem with that is that your accuracy is greatly reduced the sooner you split the warhead.
Wait, you think they want accuracy?
Whoa.
Dude, I mean, this is a pissing contest. This is
so that
how much damage we can do.
That might be what that is. Okay, that's an interesting theory. That might be what that is. That might be a MIRV splitting apart. It could be.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about when they were coming down. Could that not just be atmospheric
interference? I mean, I don't know. That looks like an explosion to me.
Well, I mean,
they're so far away from these projectiles.
Yeah, and depending on the weather, I mean, like when you break the sound barrier, like over ocean, you get, moisture kicking up, making a plume.
Sure.
You can have.
No, it wasn't aliens. It was a weather balloon. Yeah. But see, like here, the trails are very different from here to here. It looks like some staging to me. That's what that looks like.
Could be.
I would.
Or they could be going into their peak, and basically the motor is shut off, and you're seeing basically the remnants of what's burning off, or atmospheric disruption.
That could be.
Before it peaks and comes down.
Look, this is at 30,000 feet. These things are way above these guys in the plane, so that's getting into some thin atmosphere. But that could be.
It's kind of funny you mentioned balloons. But that's one of the things that they're looking at is going back to old school when it comes to the drone situation, putting up the little blimps, the anti-aircraft blimps.
No, I didn't know that. That's an interesting idea. Seems like a sitting target to me, but.
Yeah, but they have cables that run up with it, so you're making an area where they're going to have to dodge.
All right. Just surround it with nets. Sure. That's a good defense.
Yeah, and with that many of them, I'm seeing, the video. I hadn't been paying attention to the stuff. Yeah, it looks like, just a stage is going, it's quit thrusting and it's making its way up.
Yeah. I reckon it's dead on the way down.
Yeah, they don't need acceleration.
Abe Dinkin says TOWs are not this capable. Yeah, that's... I don't know. What are we going to see happen out of this? I have no idea. But share. This one, I reckon. Yeah. Put this over here. No, not that. ISO City. And my face is getting flashed. It's not cool. All right, there. Yeah, that's not working for Discord at all, is it? All right, hold on a minute. I can make this work for Discord, though. Yeah, that's better. There. Seems pretty quiet, unless we missed something while I've been looking at all these stupid clips. Like I say, it's tough. The thing is, I have seen propaganda come out of Iran that was literally like Arma 3 footage. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to draw some distinction here between what's real and what isn't. And there's so many sources of information flying at you. It's tough to make a distinction.
You've seen the F-35 that was supposedly down that was like freaking Paul Bunyan size, right?
No, I did not see that.
Oh, Lord.
That's funny, though. Yeah, Mad Maximus says, I do like how those protests all last week were all overshadowed by literally everything else in the news. That's because nothing was happening. You know, Karen Bass and fucking Eric Adams didn't want to let any shit hit the fan because the National Guard and the Marines are on standby. April says it's been very quiet, like the missiles got shot down before reaching Tel Aviv. Interesting. Syria is supposed to be helping knock them out of the sky. Syria is supposed to be helping Israel? That surprises the piss out of me.
I popped that picture in your side chat.
Oh, what in the fuck? Yeah, I ran down to 35, you guys. Look at that. It's like something out of a theme park. Those people are tiny. What in the hell? Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. I don't know who the hell they think they're fooling with that. Is that AI? Did they actually build that? That's gotta be AI. There's no way they actually fucking built that thinking that was gonna fool somebody. I don't know, man. That's nuts to me. That's salvageable if it was actually real. Well, that's why they portray it the way they did. It's we are gonna get your technology that you're so worried about everybody else, getting a hold of. But it's like 500 times too big. That's insane.
I mean, even the people. Look over towards your corner. Even the people are the size of houses.
Wait, what? And so that's a satellite picture. Then they projected the fucking crowd onto it. Yeah, look at these fucking houses right here. Look at these buildings. Yeah, those people are 10 stories tall. That's as fake as it could be right there, man. That's hilarious. Oh, shit. Yeah, Achilles says it's the size of a fucking football field. No shit, dude. Yeah, all right. That's Photoshop. That's just bad Photoshop is what that is. John Stryvis says if it was that big, it might be worth the $500 billion in R&D. No shit, dude. You can't fool us, Reddit. That's right. You're all full of shit. I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to pop off in the next 5 minutes. But it's going to eventually. And it ain't going to be good.
It's just one step after another. It's a pissing contest, and the other side's going to back down. So,
yeah. Oh my. We're supposed to be done with this. We're fucking supposed to be done with this shit. This was pretty funny, though. I don't know if you saw this or not, but apparently an Iranian news agency got hit right in the middle of a broadcast.
Oh my God. Is this live? Was Israel right to strike Iran? Is Iran even a threat? Who's going to join in? What is required for this to be World War III? Do you think the United States will get involved? Israel and Iran. Look, is the United States going to get involved? Is it World War III? This is the question. And if you were to believe a lot of people on social media, of course, you would think, yeah, we're going to World War III. Now, let me be clear here, because these are issues where, unfortunately, a lot of people online who don't represent real life dominate the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think that any American troops, certainly no boots on the ground, should be involved with Israel's war in Iran. I don't think that there should be any significant amount of U.S. dollars, and I hope that Donald Trump was not involved with this, and I hope that everything's on the up and up. I also understand that Iran, being a nuclear power, is not a good thing. And I'm not going to change that because of the current trends in click farming. Does that make sense? Do you guys, can we agree with Iran probably shouldn't have nuclear capabilities? And then it comes down to, do you think that they were getting close? Well, it seems from all the authoritative bodies that they were getting close. As far as World War III, we need to ask ourselves, what would be required for World War III? That would mean many countries of significance getting involved.
We literally had the IC come out. Who was it? And go, oh, no, Iran's not close. And then all of a sudden they are.
Who came out and said that?
Who was it? Oh, crap. The dark-haired lady that ran for president. She's part of the Trump administration now. I'll have to go back and look.
Oh, fuck, man. I'm sitting here talking. Tulsi Gabbard.
Right. What didn't they say here not too long ago that Iran wasn't close?
Yeah, I heard that. I didn't see him say that, but yeah, I heard that they had said that
in congressional hearings.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, apparently they were fucking wrong.
An international conflict on a global scale. It doesn't seem like we're going there, and I'll get into why exactly.
I agree, Walt.
Now, some people are presenting this as though Israel just attacked Iran completely unprovoked. You may disagree with them attacking Iran the way that they have. Certainly,
or the Palantir. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. What he said something about fucking Palantir, the plan for Palantir at the fucking Army Day parade, right? Heard that too. I'm like, what does Palantir have to do with the Army's fucking birthday, man? That's kind of screwed up.
Well, I mean, they did throw some money at it.
Yeah, I reckon.
You know, and then, you know, like contracts being signed, and accumulating mass surveillance and data. And before that, we were giving backdoors to all of our agencies, or to every agency that you could think of. Handing over massive amounts of data to correlate and centralize. No, we haven't seen this coming for a while, have we? But don't worry, it's not a blue boot, it's a red boot. It's crazy. I don't need either one of them on my neck.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's a benign fucking explanation for it, but it's probably not the truth.
When has government ever, when they've gotten power, not abused it?
Yeah, never. Not once.
Effective. I know people are irritated by that.
Yeah.
You may even want to argue that Iran has a right to now defend themselves. But this isn't unprovoked. Remember, Iran directly attacked Israel last April and October, to be clear. And I'm not just talking about them being the largest supporter of terrorism in the world. I'm talking about in April, 170 drones, 30 cruise missiles, and in October, about 180 ballistic missiles. So let me ask you this. If we were, there's nothing really super comparable because the United States is huge, but if we were at war with Cuba or Haiti, and during that conflict, Mexico launched 180 ballistic missiles into the United States, would you say that us going after Mexico a few months later was completely unprovoked? That's kind of the question you have to ask yourself if you say, okay, is Israel justified in this? It does seem that where we are right now, you're talking about World War III, that would mean that it's a conflict that's escalating. Iran seems to be losing steam quite a bit. Yeah. So Friday and Saturday, there were 6 waves using about 200 missiles. Since then, there have been 2 waves using just 35 to 40 missiles each.
They got really excited at first. You know,
they got really excited.
So
some you could argue that the war is effectively over if it's just Iran and Israel. If it's just Iran,
do it.
That kind of changed, didn't it? Launching a whole bunch more here just a little bit ago.
Well,
and you're right. I mean, this they need to quit acting like that. This just happened since October. This shit's been going on since before you were in diapers. Well, no, even before I was in fucking diapers.
Like before the dawn of time. What is it? We saw probably, I would say, somewhere between 20 and 50 missiles from the pilot's perspective. That was like 18 hours ago. Most recently, I haven't seen any footage from what they've been fucking launching. So
it seems like it's keep coming. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, they were doing this with freaking, well, how can I say, sticks, stones, swords. They've moved up. Hell, in the last century, tanks, airplanes, you know, artillery. It's just a continuation. I mean, what's going to be interesting is if Israel finally decides to park their subs off the Iranian coast and start hitting them from there.
Yeah. Lord help them if they fuck with our boats. That's all I'll say. That's never gone well for anybody.
Oh, I'm talking about Israel. I mean, they've got their own, you know, submarine force.
Yeah. What was it? Grumple brought up the USS Liberty earlier today, I think. That was a that was a fucked up conversation. But, let me ask you, did the USS Liberty sink?
Oh, I know about the USS Liberty attack. And I hate to say it, but it's not like they're the first country to attack a third party in a war situation. I don't agree with it. I don't think Johnson should have let them off with a slap on the hands, and the whole implementation for the implications that came afterwards and how that was handled completely wrong. But I'm not going to sit back and go, well, gee, we've never attacked somebody we shouldn't have, and other countries haven't. I mean, shit happens in war, whether it's calculated or not. It's just if you're caught or not.
Oh, fuck, man. I can't count how many times, especially during the second Iraq war and the Afghanistan conflict we were just in, that we committed friendly fire against our own fucking troops because it's the fog of war and we didn't know exactly who we were engaging. It happens. So.
I mean, other countries do things that don't make sense, like say, like Soviet Union taking our B-29s. Well, we're allies. I mean, there's always shit going on, and it's a calculated risk. Israel had a calculated risk and on what was going to happen if information came out from the USS Liberty. They knew the United States was friendly. I mean, an ally. I mean, they weighed the risk reward, and yeah, we've done the same thing.
Think they did it on fucking purpose?
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, look, during World War II when we sunk Japanese ships, when we knew that they had our prisoners, British prisoners, things like that, but they, had to be done in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
War is ugly, and a lot of time doesn't make sense to the common person.
What do they say? War never changes. I still haven't played through that fucking game. I've been meaning to. One of my many playthroughs that I never fucking finished. I don't know, man.
Be right back.
I think it would be the greatest shame, for the country and everybody involved if fucking the United States ends up going to fucking war with Iran after everything we've fucking been through. It's been such a clusterfuck. Truly. Oh, well, he's screening somebody for me, so we'll bring this back. He doesn't need to screen vibe. All right, let's let this go a little bit, I guess.
Israel can fly pretty much unfettered through Iran skies right now. There's not much they can do to stop.
I know vibe. He's okay.
I couldn't get a response from him.
Oh, he's not paying attention though. That's all right.
Them. And any missile that's launched from Iran, Israel has drones. They can spot them, take them out. And I don't even believe that Iran has aircraft that could make it to Israel and back. That may be an exaggeration, but it's pretty close to reality. If they did, they don't really have the runway to get them off. So the air superiority is so lopsided right now in Israel's favor that if no one else gets involved, okay, pack it in. It's pretty much done.
Yeah.
If it's just them two.
No, I 100% agree. And we've seen this movie before. Like we said this, I think, on Saturday, where he said, like, short of World War III, I don't even think this is going to end up in a full armed conflict between these two nations.
No.
They're just going to fire some missiles at each other, do some strikes, and then pretty much get together and go, okay, we shouldn't do this anymore.
Right. And it seems like today there might have been some developments this morning where someone may have reached out asking to start some negotiations.
A little bit, yeah.
Do you have that update?
Yeah, we have it at the end, actually.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you to maybe we should. You want to bring it up now?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
bring it up now. This just happened
according
as
to the Wall
we were
Street
going
Journal. The Iranians have been reaching out to the United States and Israel, basically saying, like, "Hey, can we talk? We'd like to end hostilities because you're kicking our ass."
Can we find where this just happened?
How do you think it's going to impact
right now? Okay. Well,
this is kind of negotiations because I mean, Iran was set for negotiations in the Israel attack. Do you think that they're going to go? Yeah, I'm going to go into this because we're going to negotiate, or do you think this is going to be a ruse?
Do I think Israel's going to go through with the negotiations? I mean,
Any party.
I don't know. From what I understand, Iran wants their pound of flesh. So they're saying that we'll cease hostilities if we're allowed to fully retaliate, whatever fully fucking retaliate means. Until they blow their wad of fucking missiles that they got from Russia this month or something, I guess. I don't know. But
Right. I mean, look at it, right? So you've got.
I don't think Israel wants this to go on any longer than it has to. That's how I kind of look
I don't
at it.
think anybody does. I mean, would you guys not say that you're kind of relieved that Israel came in and bombed the nuclear sites that they're producing nuclear weapons at?
Well, it's my understanding that they can't get to the underground sites.
So they're still working it, right? But they're making a presence.
Yeah.
So are we supposed to trust our government when they say that they're not at that point, or?
Well, I mean, let's step back for a second here. Do you want Iran to have nuclear weapons?
I particularly don't want it, but I am not in the. I look at it kind of like the whole Pakistan, India, all this bullshit. It's going to come to that point at some point in time.
Right. So, but I mean, I think everybody here on this panel agrees that nobody wants Iran to have nuclear weapons.
No, I don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons.
How
about Switzerland?
So, do you have a point, Vibe? Or?
Well, yeah, but I mean, don't we kind of all agree that nobody else should have nuclear weapons ever again? Like, we should just stop that. That's the point.
Well, it's part of what I was talking about earlier. It's a bit of a Pandora's box situation. You can't get that back in the box. Also,
I agree, right? And we shouldn't even have them, right? Nobody should have them, but there are the states that have them. So we're in that conundrum, right? We're like, okay, so we have them. Russia has them. We have a few other states that have them in the world.
Well,
but really,
if
all of us
anybody should have them, Vibe, we should.
Well, I'm going to agree with that because I am we, right? So I always think as the we are right. But part of our First Amendment is the freedom of speaking up, right? And we have to apply that to the world. So if somebody doesn't agree with our rights, and if we go wrong, go ahead, expand.
We don't have to uphold the First Amendment for the rest of the world. That's not how that works to my mind.
But I mean,
we don't have.
It kind of works. It works in this country in the sense that there were people that have risen up multiple times and correctly to oppose things that we were doing wrong. Now, in today's society, I think most of the people on this panel will agree that most of the people that are rising up against us right now are incorrect, but we still give them the opportunity to say and point out where we might be incorrect, even if we disagree, right?
Well, going back to what he was saying about free speech, we don't have to make sure that it's there for somebody else, but we need to respect it if we need to apply it.
Yeah,
we don't need to defend it. And on the thing about,
I agree with you on that.
And on the situation about the people who are speaking up about what the American government's doing, I have to stand with, they've got the right to. I mean, it is part of our Constitution. May they be wrong in certain aspects? Yeah. Are they right in certain aspects? Yeah, because there's never a 100% situation where something fits. You know what I mean?
Heavy lives in the gray territory.
And let me take it back out of the gray territory because we are talking about Israel and Iran, right? And so I diverted the conversation, so I'm going to bring it back, right? So as the country that we are, right, kind of the diplomats of the world, should we be the ones going into Iran right now and using our heavy arsenal to penetrate the deep bunkers to get rid of the nuclear weapons, or are we kind of okay as being the diplomats of letting Israel do this? Even though Donald Trump, I know people will say, well, Donald Trump was against this, but I'm kind of okay with Israel and what they're doing right now. And I don't know what your guys' opinions are on that.
Mine is basically you can't go, I'm not going to be imperialistic, but I'm going to be imperialistic. You know what I mean? The age of we've got the biggest stick and we know how to use it. Okay, if you want to go that route, then you've got to implement it across the board. You can't go, well, Ukraine, but we're going to defend Israel, or we've got the situation, we're going to defend India. You get what I mean? If you want to be imperialistic, fine, cool. We've done in the past. We carry a big stick. If you don't want to do it, then we don't do it.
Yeah, but we're not being imperialistic anymore. Am I wrong?
I mean, proxy wars and all. I mean, opportunities to take like
imperialism
and
by
make-
proxy is okay. Heavy. That's the difference.
That's
okay?
what's called diplomacy, right?
Right, but when we're looking at, and I can understand where one side's going. It's a joke, but when you keep going back to it, it doesn't seem like a joke anymore. The whole situation with Canada, the whole situation with Greenland, the Panama Canal situation. If we want to go in a certain direction, we need to go in that direction, or we don't. You know.
And I'm definitely not mocking you or trying to do any disarray here, but I'm curious, what direction do you think we should go in?
We should butt the fuck out and let the world handle itself.
So we should hunker down, take care of our country, which actually I do not think is a bad idea. However, we do have a lot of interests in the world that affect our economy. If we just bunker down and go, okay, let's take care of our own economy, let's take care of our people.
Oh, I'm not
Let's just protect the
isolationist.
company. Yeah. Okay. So, but I mean, that's kind of what you were saying, right? Stay out of it. That would be isolating ourselves from the world stage, right?
In certain aspects, if you're talking about dictating what you want to see this way and that way when it comes to warfare, when it comes to countries engaging each other, yeah, we can butt out, but trade wise, things of that nature, we're not going to be able to attach ourselves, right? You know, not for a very long time, even if we rebuilt in the United States our production and our manufacturing. We're still going to have to go to the other countries for certain rare minerals, goods, materials that we can't obtain here in the United States. But everything else, let them handle it.
So, in this particular scenario, which we're talking about, Israel and Iran, should we just let them handle it? Should we stop supplying Israel with their resupply on the Iron Dome?
No.
If they're buying goods, that's part of the trade I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's good.
this is part of,
And I'm only asking questions because
this is part of been my sort of stance on this. Like the entire stream, I think I've reiterated this, but we give Israel a lot. We should. I'm not saying that we should change that. But we need to make them make good on our investment in them. We need to let them loose and let them actually do what they're supposed to do with all the hardware that we're giving them. So. And our pussyfooted, mealy-mouthed fucking politicians always pull the reins back and say, no, let's not get into a hot war with Iran. So what's more concerning to me about this than what Israel is doing or how Israel is doing it is why now, right? That's really where the question is.
That is a good question. I mean, I actually was wondering that myself. And by the way, Heavy, I love talking to you. This is really fun. I'm really not actually challenging you at all. I'm literally trying to learn myself. But I mean, to your point, why now? I mean, it is kind of cool that Donald Trump said, "Hey, we didn't." I don't know if this is cool or not. Actually, to be honest, he said we didn't have anything to do with this. But if you retaliate against us, we're coming down on you with a huge hammer. I don't know if that's nukes. I doubt it. I'm sure our military forces can target much better than Israel is even targeting. I am glad that Israel is targeting that because I do not think they should have the nukes. It is an interesting conversation in the whole fact, like, where do we sit on the diplomacy of this, right? But I mean, I went to actually log on to see what was going on 20 minutes from me in the LA riots on Sunday, and I couldn't find anything about it because it was all Israel now. And what is our role there? I don't know. I'm confused.
I mean, if they want to buy $24 billion worth of material from us, cool. Giving $24 billion worth of material? No.
I do love that. I mean, I did like 15 years ago. I did a little economic recognizance on our country about our two largest exports that this country has value on. And number one was actually farming, and number two was military. And number three was tech, by the way. Tech came in third after farming, military, then tech. And then we have human resources like all over the place after that. We could farm ourselves out as a country as protecting countries that want our military. Currently, we choose which ones we want, which I think is very smart because it protects our economic interests. We could do the same thing with farming and actually start segmenting our farming out where we ship our food to, which is basically sanctions, right?
I wonder how much of that tech is actually military, you know, in that scaling, you know.
Well, it is a blurred line. I mean, originally it wasn't a blurred line, right? So when NASA was sending up the space shuttles and all the research that went into that, actually even before that, when we were doing the moon launches, a lot of that tech seeped into the American technology for microwaves and things like that. People say, hey, space technology is a waste of money, but it actually gave us a lot of the tech we have today, geosatellites, all that stuff. But the blurred line is now it's shifting because NASA can't keep up with SpaceX. And SpaceX is pretty much the only commercial aerospace company out there that actually is providing new tech to the industry right now, and it's private, so they don't have to share it. Now it's actually patented. It doesn't get shared anymore. You've got Armadillo Aerospace. You've got Jeff Bezos' space company. I forgot what it's called, but they're not doing anything revolutionary. Only SpaceX is right now, and they actually own the rights to that information. So at one time, these things were open to everybody. Now they're changing, but I keep on changing the conversation, so I apologize, EOD.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm getting distracted by my mini
I
chats.
can go all
anyway.
over the place.
On that space,
that's
I'm gonna stop rambling.
On the space aspect, pretty much anybody who knows me knows where I live. I live in Huntsville, so we got more space flight here. You know, home of the space program. And that, I mean, here a decade ago, a little over a decade ago, NASA really pulled back because they wanted to see, you know, they wanted to see the market grow and technology grow, as in with these other startup companies and you know, privatized companies. Another one is Sierra, that is doing major leaps and bounds in the space industry. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to have the NASA that we used to. And technology, I mean, here the stands have been refurbed and also being rented out by SpaceX and and Blue.
Blue Origin, yeah.
Blue Origin.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you think these private companies aren't embedded in the same industry giants that have backed NASA from day one, you're sadly mistaken. Lockheed Martin and Boeing and General Dynamics and all these people are always going to have a huge stake in anything we have to do with space flight and military technology. So,
well, it seems like they're handing off the baton. It seems like the old school guys like Lockheed Martin, Boeing and Raytheon and all them are now concentrating more on military aspect than they are the space and exploration. You got the newcomers that's handling it more.
Well, yeah, I can imagine that military investments are probably much more ROI, right?
But, I don't know. Ask our Congress members.
There is something new happening here, and this is the next. Like, remember when everybody invested in the .com boom? Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, "Oh, this is gonna be the next big thing." So we can actually trace this back to the automotive industry, and it actually is still happening now. Man. So, like Ford Motor Company.
So wait, let me just pause you right there just for a second. We went from Israel versus Iran to SpaceX versus NASA to .com boom, and now back down to the Industrial Revolution. So
I'll bring it right back. Okay, I can bring it all back up into one rocket.
one big SpaceX rocket all the way to Mars. Huh?
Well, so we were talking about the space industry. We're talking about rockets. We're talking about that stuff, right? And how do we get rockets to Israel? We have to have a good space program. So in the automotive industry, even today, right now, Ford does not make the carburetor for the Mustang. They actually have a guy that came up with the perfect carburetor, and his company has about 20 employees, engineers from maybe MIT, that are making the perfect carburetor for the Ford engine, and they ship that there. Now, what has happened since the segmentation of the government taking the space program is that aerospace companies like SpaceX, Armadillo, Blue Origin, and things like that, they're not actually making everything. They've got teams of like 30 plus engineers working on one component. That one component is the component that is actually making that go. It might be a navigation system, it might be a fuel gauge, it might be, a thruster. It goes all over the place. And this all builds up to why this is actually a great change for the United States. And actually, I guess we can bring it back to his Hefty's comment of maybe we should go a little bit solitary here, because we're doing really good in the United States on these things. And if you're investing, start looking at the micro aerospace companies, the young engineers coming out of MIT that are actually building these mini navs for the systems. Great stock investments. But
well, we were never going to share any of that. We were never going to share any of the technology with anybody, not even Israel. But to that end, I think
we're shipping those products over to them.
You would actually be surprised at the military industry that's in Israel.
I was going to say, so we can project our space industry in the way that it's happening a meteoric rise, right, and become the dominant force in the world to what Israel's doing in the Middle East with regards to weapons technology, primarily based off of shit that we sell them. But yeah, they build their own shit, and it's presumably more advanced than what the original platforms that we sold to them. Advancing on the F-16, the F-18 platforms, which are some of the deadliest weapons in the sky. Not to mention, artillery and anti-artillery and yada yada on down the line. All this stuff's being developed in-house by Israel. So,
I mean, we're shipping the latest missiles over for the Iron Dome right now. Does that mean their first ones were more advanced, and now we're shipping over the less advanced ones? And I actually am not countering this. I'm actually curious.
Well, my understanding is that they developed that system. We might be manufacturing it, but
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I that was a honest, I don't know question.
Twisted says, "Fuck you, Yudi. The night I can't join you discuss NASA and space. Fucking ginger." Well, you know what, Twisted? Right now, you are correct, sir. I am indeed a ginger. That will change in approximately 6 months, I assume. But
it's almost like he could get his ass in here.
He knows he's welcome any fucking time, anytime, but all the time he's always like, "No, I can't come right now. I don't. My girlfriend's gonna suck my dick in a minute." Like, whatever, man. Shut up.
Wow,
I've been on
went from Israel to sucking dick.
It always gets there eventually.
I've been on at least 3 panels with you where people called you a ginger, so now you can finally go, yes.
Now I will not protest. That's very true. Very much a ginger.
Congratulations,
man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm gonna make it public. Yeah, I still think that for that situation, the carpets should match the drapes.
Man, do not give Kissy Cat any ideas. She might still be watching. She did come in and give her approval though, which I very much appreciate.
You might have to start with the beard, right? Do the red on the beard.
Nah, see, my plan was I was gonna get somebody, her or somebody to donate some more money, so then I'd do the beard.
I like that. Let's do the target goal for the beard. Then, what do they call it? The drapes, I guess.
How much for nose ring?
Oh hell no! That's
Oh no,
not happening. I cannot undo a hole through my nose. No. Now I just stuck my cigarette in there. That's all your fault.
Well, EOD, I got to run, but thank you so much for having me on. I'm sorry if I was a pain in the butt and
No, it's okay.
derailed all your conversations.
We're just
If I
bouncing
drop off, I'm
around
sure
quite
you
a
guys
bit.
will get back on topic.
It's hard to keep track. It's hard to keep track when you bounce around so frequently. But I do
Crap,
appreciate
there's
you
so
coming
much
back.
going on in the world today. I mean, you have to bounce around or you don't get anything covered.
I reckon.
Well, the name of my channel is Random Thoughts of Consciousness, just because that's the way my brain works. So I have a hard time keeping on topics. I go on tangents. I apologize. I derailed you guys. EOD, if you never accept me back again, I understand why.
I didn't say that. I do appreciate you, Vibe. You're welcome anytime. I'll try to hunt down your channel. If you want, just post it here in the side chat in the Discord. Like in the upper right corner, there's a little chat box. Just click that. It'll pop out a side chat. Drop it in there, and I can drop it in the chat.
All right. So, oh yeah. Hey, I'm not used to the Discord.
It's kind of slick.
ones.
That's why we all just kind of settled into it. But it's getting dated at this point. StreamYard consolidates all this shit a lot easier. So
I actually use Streamlabs. I'm really enjoying that, but I haven't
they
tried
just
StreamYard yet.
fucking ripped off StreamYard.
Well, I like it because I have a desktop app that I have full control of, and I have control of the scenes and things like that. But
that's cool.
Maybe I'll check that out. Yeah, I'll post them there, and pretty easy because I'm Vibe on YouTube, Vibe on X, Vibe on Twitter, and VibeOn.com.
Okay. Right. You said that last time. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm Vibe on everything, right? But I'll still post them. Heavy, Fisted, good talking with you. I enjoyed
Nice
it.
meeting you.
All right. Hopefully we'll talk again.
Hopefully so.
All right. Take care, guys.
See you, man. I found it.
Take
I
care.
finally found it. Just spell out the whole word YouTube. I'm sorry. I'm a dummy. There's Vibe.
Nah,
Y'all
man,
haven't
you're a
checked out Vibe?
redhead.
Check him out.
It's fine.
Ah, you shush. I swear. Now even my closest friends who fucking know better are gonna start calling me a fucking redhead. I swear. Y'all are awful. Y'all are terrible. Terrible. It's one syllable. It's terrible. Oh,
I
there's
prefer it's terrible. Thank you.
There's K2. K2 sends me a ginger wave. That's like K2. Bandit says, how much for you to dye? Only the center of your mustache, like the Austrian painter. Oh, for fuck's sake, Bandit. What do you mean? You want me to dye it black? Just here? Or just red here? I don't know. I say all or nothing on that. I gotta do the whole thing. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do the whole thing. I'm not just gonna have a little strip of fucking color in the middle of my thing, of my my beard. I'll poll the audience. I don't know if I can do a poll. I'm not big enough to have a poll yet. YouTube says no polls for you until you get 1,000 subscribers. So
That's what she said.
no, wait, here's a poll. I can do a poll. Okay, fine. What am I doing a poll about? I'm asking people how much they think a fucking Hitler mustache is worth. This does not seem like a good idea, Bandit.
$9.99.
Oh shit, fire. K2 says you're gonna make Kissy Cat appear and I'll message her. No, wait a minute now. Like I said, I'll do the whole thing. I'll do the whole thing. But I don't want to do just a little strip of the freaking mustache. That would be dumb. You guys have to remember, I still have to like go to the store and shit. You know, I'm not just I'm not just a pincushion for you to fucking torture.
I mean, it is Kentucky. Come on. They've seen a lot stranger.
You're not lying. This place is full of fucking characters. I'll tell you that.
Ooh, the red hair. How about dyeing your skin blue?
Now, fuck you and that stupid story about inbreds who ended up turning blue down in eastern Kentucky. I swear, it's like one family, one time.
But it goes so good with the red hair. And you can say you're a Kentucky fan.
Well, I'm not a Kentucky fan if I have red hair. I'm a Yuba Bell fan.
Well, the blue skin would kind of counter it.
Yeah, well, maybe a little bit. Wobbly says that's not a beard. Yes, it is. This is very much a beard, okay? Go ask any Latino or Asian person. This is a beard. I'm sorry.
I want to say a joke about running into the wall and breaking a nose, but I won't.
I'm sorry. I'm probably headed out in about 15 minutes anyway. I gotta get out of here by 10 o'clock because I've gotta pay attention to Rob Norris chat. So, but I might be back after that. What do you say, Heavy? Are you still gonna be awake at 2 o'clock?
When have I not been?
You usually are. I was just asking. I don't know. Maybe you got plans like Twisted does.
No, my plans aren't that good. Damn.
Son of a bitch. Jicker says it would be so confusing outside of Kentucky as the blue-haired feminists wouldn't know if he was one of them or not. Got the blue skin and the red hair. Like, they'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
So you're saying you could walk down most Democrat-ran cities, their main thoroughfares, and be untouched. That might be a good thing.
Right. See, I could get in close and infiltrate the fucking commies. That'd be great, right? Now this is all coming together. Kissy Cat had a plan, you guys. She was playing 4D chess. That's really what it is. She's setting me up to be the man on the street interviewer.
Well, I mean, that applies to both sides, though, man. I mean, there's much centralization that both parties are wanting now. The red hair, the blue skin, they work either way.
Oh, Jicker's got a point. He says, I don't speak commie good enough. That's fair. Commies point me out pretty quick when they start talking to me because I'm like, wait a minute, you're full of shit. You're like, you're not supposed to say that. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Yeah.
All he would have to do is snap his fingers anytime they say anything.
Why? Because I have some magic ginger power.
Oh, you remember that you don't want to trigger anybody. Just start snapping your fingers and they think that you agree.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. I say something stupid, I'm just like, yeah, man, yeah. I'm with that beating it crowd, man. I'm all about it. Bandit says you could infiltrate them with being a ginger with a brown beard. Well, it is my natural hair color. It is not brown. Again, y'all look at the damn Twitter picture. I swear. I have never been a damn ginger. I took that yesterday. Before I trimmed my beard. My beard actually looks better now. But oh, god damn it, dog. Hush. He's not listening to me. What? Okay. All right. Well, Frodo's going to call an early into it for me. I got to take him outside. So.
Well, thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for coming by. It was good to see you. So.
See you later.
All right, you take her easy. I'll be around. All right. Well, looks like everybody already left. Damn. But I do appreciate you guys coming by. It's been fun. Had a good stream. I'm gonna head over to Rob Noir. We're gonna be talking to him, but I still cannot rate anyone yet. I can raid on Kick, Jixer and Wobbly. If you guys have a suggestion on Kick to raid, I will try to raid. Usually I don't have enough viewers on Kick. But anyway, if y'all haven't yet, like, subscribe. I need some subscriptions so I can raid. If you would just wait a second. Hush. Y'all like and subscribe. And I eventually will cross the thresholds that I need to cross in order to start doing some of the cool stuff, like super chats and raids and stuff like that. But I gotta get more subscribers. We gotta get some more watch time. And I may come back at 2 to try and catch a raid. I may not. It depends on. I probably will. So stick around. Look for me around 2, and let's hang out with Rob Moore for a little bit. And I'll see you guys over there. So peace, love, and chicken grease. Now I will take my dog out right freaking now. If you would just hush.